get in.
Okay, and it seems we should be live.
Is alive. Oh no, it's past Halloween. Oh.
Yep, sorry.
I can't do that now.
No, afraid not.
No,
You know what time it is? Yep.
I was thinking about Physio said, I could start doing stuff. And I before I got my 5-0, I was on about doing Muay Thai.
Oh, I say.
Yeah. There's a Muay Thai. Is it dojo?
Dojo is technically the Japanese, but I know what you mean. I don't know what the Thai equivalent.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's a place probably about a 10-minute walk away from me, where they do Muay Thai classes and stuff. For starting, it's kids. It's for all beginners. It's basically. When I went there, I was speaking to the guy who runs it, and he says, it's for people who want to seriously do Muay Thai, and it's also a place for people who want to get fit and healthy as well. So he goes, you can be in the really not big classes, but the classes where you really taking it seriously, or
it's a part-time thing just to keep you fit, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I was talking to my physio about it,
and they're okay with it as long as you improve. Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So
I will say this though: expect to be sore, and for your shins to take an absolute pounding, and your thighs as well, actually.
Yeah, but I have a friend who actually lives in Thailand. I know him from college. I've known him.
To say they take it seriously over there would be grossly underestimating how seriously they take it over there.
Yeah, when he was 18, he went over there for 6 months because his teacher over here sent him to his teacher over there.
Wow.
And
Hello.
Hi, sorry about the delay.
That's alright. You were doing what you should have been doing. The dishes.
Yes.
Nope, that's cool. We're all good.
Yeah, he ended up he ended up he was going back to Thailand every 6 months, spending 6 months in Thailand, 6 months in England, and after 2 years he met his now wife,
nice.
and he's been living over there for last 17, 18 years now, and has had a load of Muay Thai fights over there. Proper fights. Yeah. His wife took a video for me once of a round of one of his fights, and oh.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. If watching Tony Jaa films has taught me anything, it's you've got to be physically tough for that kind of stuff. In any case, we've now got pretty much everybody we're going to get for tonight. So the first thing we're going to do is check that everybody's signed into Foundry, which I'm not sure everybody appears to be.
Just signing in now.
Just signing in now. Awesome sauce. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. No more investigating weird cults or stopping deity level alien things coming through breaches in the subspace realm. It's all good. We're going back to regular old Star Trek.
This once, and I'll say it again, I am never ever going to another holodeck program done by Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang again.
It was a one and done. She knows what she did.
Yeah.
In any case, whilst folks are busy logging in, I am going to stop the ship rumble, and I am going to stop the Tinky Plinky theme. And I'm going to say, live long and prosper to you too, suitable substrate. We will get cracking on the episode just after this quick, if I can find it. Where'd it go? Suitable substrate's little hello messages staying up longer than it should have. Out of the way! Right, here's the... I hope this is the right button for the intro video, so I'm going to either make a massive fool of myself, or... Hey, it was the right one! Howdy folks, welcome back to further adventures of the USS Combs and her crew. I am MJ the GM, otherwise known as Matt, and I will be your GM for today. And let us jump quickly back into... Oop, apparently hailing frequencies are now open. So yes, let's get back into this. So yes, I know last week was... Halloween weekend, and therefore we interrupted our regularly scheduled programming with a special Halloween episode, but now we're getting straight back into where we were previously, which was the archaeological dig site in Epsilon Alpha system. So if we all cast our minds back, you had been your overall command of your ship and its missions was now transferred from Admiral April Hebert to Admiral Barna Stoker. And one of her first missions for you all was to post you to a planet, Epsilon Alpha 3, where there's an archaeological excavation going on by Starfleet and Federation civilian science, who are looking to uncover ruins of a lost civilization. Stoker very much interested in lost civilizations that may or may not have a link to the alien civilization that you've been uncovering and finding clues about in the Shackleton Expanse. So she dispatched you to this place, and when you arrived in orbit you found that the excavation had visitors in the form of Orion, let's say, troubadours, without getting too judgmental. Turned out the Orions had found out that there was indeed something in the archaeological ruins that the Starfleet Federation excavation team were looking to get at, and they were interested in getting at it too. And just as you guys were getting acquainted with the archaeological excavation crew, and helping them with security patrols and their hollow emitters in order to keep the natives at bay, you had extra visitors arrive in the form of Ferengi. And that's pretty much where we left it. The Ferengi had just landed in a shuttle, and it looks like that Commander Hopkins was going up there to... let's use the word greet them, shall we? But before we actually get proper started on the episode, We're going to do our usual plugs. First of all, of course, is Chris's channel, The Utter Crisp.
Hello, thank you very much. Yeah, so I finally have a new video out. It's Katamari Damacy review having a mosey. It's just, as I say, as the title implies, I'm just taking a look at Katamari Damacy. It's very surreal, it's very cool, it's an awesome, very unique kind of game, and I just did a video on that, so please feel free to wander over and have a look. I think it's a fun video, and then hopefully before too long there'll be a video out on Jack and Daxter as well.
There it is, and there's the link. You can see it right there, folks. And moving on to the other Chris. I see there is another episode of Solarity up, like we were promised. Is there another one inbound?
Yes, probably tomorrow, possibly Tuesday in in the UK, usual stuff with time zone stuff. And yeah, we are now past the halfway point of the first season. If it does well, then apparently a second season will be done. So please have a good listen to it. And yeah, things are getting pretty crazy in Elias's world right now.
We're nearly up to episode 10. Incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Some small plugs of my own. I'm not affiliated with any of these people, but I like to do these things to help promote other things. Yeah, so it turns out the guys at Critical Role are going to be doing a charity live stream for Red Nose Day for comic relief in the US. So there we go. So that's going to be happening on the 28th of November. Critical Role will be holding their charity live stream for Red Nose Day, so take a look out for that. In other news, we've got Humble Bundle are doing the best of Warhammer RPGs. They're mostly doing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Wrath and Glory, and Soulbound, and that all proceeds for that go towards Children's Health in Ireland. And one of the other charities that we're looking at for that's on Humble Bundle is a Doctor Who Mega Bundle, which includes not only some of the Big Finish audio play productions, which I've always enjoyed listening to. I haven't listened to them for a good old long while, but the production quality on Big Finish's audio dramas are always really good. And they've even got, as well as those, they've got various novels, and they've got Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space by Cubicle 7. So they've even got the roleplay game and its various supplements in there, and all the proceeds go to BBC Children in Need. So spreading the sci-fi, spreading the roleplay, and doing it for charity too. So take a look at them if they're the kind of thing you fancy doing. In the meantime, with those plugs over, we're going to jump ourselves back straight into the mix. But before we get in there, is there anything anybody wants me to remind them of? Any questions, concerns, comments, anything I've forgotten to mention? Speak now before I jump us back straight into proceeds. I'm going to take the silence for we're all good. So I'm just going to disable the ship rumble because we are down on a planet. It's very humid, it's very wet. Last you were told one of the problems this planet has is that frequent stellar ejections from the system star causes plasma storms on the third planet, which is the planet you're on. So you have a number of, excuse me, I think it's a couple of hours until a plasma storm hits and starts making everything down on the surface a little bit more unbearable than it already is. So, with that in mind, we have Ferengi, who have just landed. And we've got Commander Hopkins has just, well, marched up to greet them. So let's get cracking. The first one to come off the Ferengi shuttle is obviously the man in charge, flanked by a pair of fellow Ferengi soldiers. Each of them are wielding, not wielding, but they have on their holsters some small phaser-type weapons. But the Ferengi in charge comes down the ramp with his hands clasped behind his back, takes a look around and nods to himself. Yes, I like it. I think I'll take it. And then he notices Commander Hopkins. Ah, excellent. A welcoming committee. He looks Hopkins up and down, at which point he goes, well then, sweetheart, if you wouldn't mind showing me to the man in charge, we can get things moving here. So, Liz, what are we doing?
She gives a laugh. Not a nice laugh. First of all, Ferengi, you're not buying anything. So get back on your ship and leave. This is Federation archeological site. Not for sale. So, goodbye.
At which point, the daemon looks between his two soldiers and then emits a really hearty gut laugh, which kind of makes you curl your toes to hear. Oh, that's fantastic. Sending a Klingon female to do some hard bargaining. I like it. And then he pats Hopkins right on the hip. So off you scurry, sweetheart, and get the real person in charge here. I'll be waiting over there in the hollow tent. Let's see, I've got...
I am really tempted to punch him right now.
Are you going to punch him?
Yeah, she probably would for him calling her sweetheart.
Okay, then. I am not going to do a contested roll with this, in this case. I am just going to give you a flat difficulty of probably 1, and it's going to be daring and security. Needless to say, this is starting to attract some attention, mind you. For those who are watching, I am reloading because I lost my momentum and threat pools. There we go. 2 successes. So, is Traza pulling her punch any? Is the next question.
Yeah, just enough to hopefully give him an idea.
Okay. So, 1 effect, 5 successes. So, do you want to hit him for the full 5 or pull back some of those successes? You got 1 effect, so you can essentially do the knockdown, so you knock him on his butt, but are you giving him all 5 of those, or are you leaving some for change?
Give him 3 with the knockdown.
Alrighty. So, Commander Tavek and Security Officer Lieutenant Targinch, who are in charge and security officer for the archaeological site, respectively, including Garrow, because, you know, you can actually hear what's going on at this point. Walk up to get at least a bird's eye view as Hopkins just doesn't even rear back. She just kind of open hand slaps him across the head with such enough force to knock the daemon on his ass. The other 2 Ferengi soldiers then reach for their weapons, but on the floor, the Ferengi holds up one hand and goes, "Stop! Stop! 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 Stop!" At which point, nursing his cheek, where there's now a very red mark, where Hopkins smacked him, he gets up, straightens himself, dusts himself down a little bit, and goes, Now isn't that what they call initiating a mating ritual for Klingons? I'd be interested, sweetie, if we weren't here on business. Then he notices Garrow. Ah! There is the man I want to speak to. And he moves over to Garrow. He looks Garrow up and down. Garrow being a very tall, very broad man. Now this is a man who looks like somebody I can deal with. Show me to the entertainment plaza, my dear lad, and we can get started on talking about our mutual interests. Make sure to have that female unclothe herself too, and she can dance for my amusement while we talk.
Mission to punch him.
Hawk is tempted to go punch him again.
Yeah, I was about to say one sweetheart, and yeah. So I think I speak for. I think I agree with Commander Hopkins when I say this, and then that's when I punch him.
Okay. I'm not even going to ask for a roll. I'm going to ask you to roll your unarmed damage.
Okay, hang on. Let's get this. This is hang on, my.
So, if you look on your character sheet under belongings, you will find unarmed strike. When you hover over the fist icon, it turns into a dice. That's what we're looking to press. Ooh, that's a heck of a lot of knockdowns. Once again, that's 7 successes there. How many of those are you withholding?
I just want to send them a message that you just don't talk to us like that.
So there's a very there's a very definite, what is it, a closed fist strike and an open-handed slap, a shove? What are you doing?
I think at this point it's going to have to be a closed fist because he obviously didn't learn from the open hand slap, did he?
Oh, right, okay. In this case, both of his soldiers draw back and actually draw their weapons. Not that Garrow looks at all impressed with it. This is now drawing attention, so I'm going to go briefly over to Dr. Sott, who, along with Lieutenant Flesk, was having a brief talk with the head of the civilian science archaeological team. And you can now probably hear what's going on outside, so I don't know if you guys want to stay with the doc or if you want to investigate what's going on.
I kind of want to investigate. I obviously... neither I nor Sot condone the Ferengi's attitude, but we should try and put our, best diplomatic foot forward.
Alrighty. Flask will follow whatever Sot entails. This also goes to Gurkow and Tavish, who are off, who have just completed their maintenance of the hollow projection systems. So Ensign Carly Kenson is also interested in what the kerfuffle is over near the shuttle pad. So if any of you guys want to move over and have a look as well.
I think I would... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think my sort of plan of attack would be, get over there, tell the Ferengi, like, look, that's not acceptable, stop it. And if you don't, then, Garrow will have his word.
We're making sure Tavish is nowhere near this, are we? this is why you're saying this.
So Sot, seeing that Tavish is now interested in what's going on, rushes there quickly. Everybody stop! Yes, okay, let's brandish the diplomacy a little bit, shall we?
I thought I just did.
Yeah. Garrow just cracking his knuckles there a little bit. That's how
it's
we
like
do
it's
it
like the old
Bajor.
saying, it's like tread lightly but carry a big hyper spanner.
You could say exactly what you like to me, but you ever talk about my commander again in that tone of voice, there is going to be an incident.
The Daemon very much nursing his jaw, with both of his men now having drawn their pistols. He gets up and once again straightens himself and tries to regain his composure. As Dr. Sott should be inbound at this particular point. You drive a hard bargain there, sonny. Your commander, eh? Well then, it's that kind of relationship, is it? Well, if you're interested in that kind of dominatrix type of stuff, I've got a few Dabo girls you might be interested in.
Excuse me, Commander Hopkins.
Can I just, use 20 cc's of knockout juice?
You might want to do quickly, because Tavish is inbound.
As you know, I can shut him up, but like painlessly.
Excuse me, Commander Hopkins, but are Ferengi supposed to have really small ears like that?
Ooh, go for the brain, why don't you?
Oh.
So,
I thought they were supposed
wow.
to be bigger.
At which point, the two Ferengi soldiers are there looking at each other and then kind of almost stifling a smirk between them both. At which point, the daemon turns around and goes, "Shut up, you two." Well, if we're going to get personal about this kind of thing, then I suppose I should really get down to brass tacks, as they say.
How much did you pay for your shuttle, by the way?
Why do you ask? Interested in it?
Well,
It just looks like you're trying to compensate it for something.
No, perfectly honest. I mean, I wouldn't pay 1 denarii for that. I mean, it's pretty much scrap, perfectly honest. And I'm a head engineer of the Starfleet. I'm giving you my honest opinion here. What was your name again? I can't remember.
That's because you weren't around for me to introduce myself, sweetie.
Well, please tell me.
So, he turns back to Garrow and the incoming Dr. Sott and Lieutenant Flesk. As I was saying, if anyone is interested in my shuttle, then I think you'll find it's economical in its value. But I'm here to discuss mutual interest, and as long as you keep your women under control, we can do this as civilized people. I understand you have an Orion problem.
No problem at all. None we can't handle.
I'm sure. But seriously, you have an Orion problem, and I have an Orion solution. Perhaps we could relocate to the entertainment tent over there and talk in a more civilized fashion. What say you?
Are you sure you're going to be able to hear us with those small ears?
He's visibly grinding his teeth at this, which, Ferengi are very proud of their teeth.
I wouldn't do that. You don't look like you've got much teeth left for you to be grinding them.
Alright. If we're going to be doing this way, then let me get plain about it. You do have an Orion problem, and I'll tell you why. Because obviously you're too foolish to understand what's right at your doorstep. The Orions learned about this little prize you have waiting underneath that, what you call it, bunker. And their intent is to make off with it before you get to it. Now that we're here, we've introduced ourselves as an extra problem for them to deal with. You're welcome, by the way. No charge on that front. However, the Orions will undoubtedly make themselves a problem when it comes to you trying to excavate whatever it is that you've found under there. And we're willing to assist with keeping this place secure. We can act as a security force, if you like, or we can use our substantial knowledge of acquisitions in order to help you extract the valuable power source that lies within that bunker. Many hands makes for light work, as they say, especially if you're paying them well.
Security. Do you think we really need help with that? As she brandishes her bat left.
Oh, I think you do, sweetheart, and I will tell you why. Did it never cross that Klingon brain of yours how it was the Orions knew so quickly about the power source? I'll let that stew for a bit while me and my boys go help ourselves to whatever refreshments in the hollow tent. Excuse me.
Refreshments cost 20,000 denarii.
I heard the Federation doesn't believe in currency.
Oh, our science officer believes in currency.
For you, we make an exception.
Mhm.
I was talking about our science officer.
Kara, can you hold on to this? Because I'm afraid I'm going to hit him with it. She hands Kara her
Garrow
batleth.
gets handed a batleth.
After that little exchange, I'd say double it.
Garrow looks at it and starts actually, what's it called? Sharpening it for him.
Ask me. I won't use it.
Maybe I should hold the batleth. I'm more likely
Yes.
to hurt myself than anyone else.
Yeah, well, I would hurt myself. Oh.
Sot is now looking expectantly at Garrow to hand over the very large, very heavy, very deadly weapon.
You know, you might
Commander.
also want to take this, and she hands Sot the destructor.
So, is this like that scene out of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, where Max is now availing himself of all of his various weaponry, and he's there for a good 5 minutes?
Let's get a weapon control.
Commander Tarvik at this point kind of wanders up to you all and says, I have to confess, I am actually more than a little perplexed at what the Ferengi daemon seems to be inferring here. He does make a logical point. How did the Orions learn so quickly about the power source under the ruins? It was a point that I had brought up previously, but it seems that even the Ferengi has managed to point it out. He
I'm
might
still
know
wondering
something.
how they know too.
Indeed. I had not considered that. In either case, they are more interlopers in our camp, and we still have a full night of preparations to go in order to excavate the ruin. You are the senior officer here, Commander Hopkins, and I do bow to each of your experience in security matters. I am uncertain, I confess, on how to proceed. Do we hear the Ferengi out, or do we ask them to leave?
You can hear him out because right now he has irritated me.
Very well.
As much as I don't like his tone, I think we should at least hear him out.
Very well. He has gone to the entertainment tent, so perhaps we should follow. Tarvik is looking for... It's unusual. Your experience with Vulcans has been mostly with your captain, so you've kind of started getting a feeling for how your captain works. But to see another Vulcan actually have like ghosts of uncertainty over his expression it's kind of a new thing for some of you. It's like, wow, even Vulcans can be uncertain. As for Lieutenant Targich... Sorry, go on, Dave.
Tavish has gone back to watching some is it
Gravity
Ball?
Yeah, Grab
Yeah.
Ball.
Yeah. She did her part.
I think we're probably going to the tent as well to mediate.
Yeah.
So, Flask will follow, because, parent figure, you never know when you might need it.
I will tell Lieutenant Garrow about there being a Ferengi, and you never know, you may be able to play some Dabo.
Oh, you mean Gurkha rather than Garrow?
Gurkha, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Gurkha.
Garrow, Gurkha, they all look the same to me.
You can call me Good Jones. I'm going to make my way there, but what I want to do beforehand, having noticed that through the night, is scan some trees.
Haha! You did say you were going to scan some trees at the end of our last session, yes.
Oh yeah.
It is quietly fascinating because, as the Sirenscape sound suggests, they do make those kind of haunting, moaning sounds. So it is, from a purely scientific standpoint, kind of interesting. Why trees would develop this way naturally is not immediately obvious, but yeah, there you go. Maybe they use it to ward off things that would maybe damage the tree or something. Something for another time. Nevertheless, the daemon and his 2 bodyguards is now sat in a chair in the holography tent, and he's seems to have activated a program that suggests the inside of some kind of almost like a bazaar. It's very garishly coloured. There's like drapes, colourful drapes and hanging banners and stuff like that. And as you might expect, very typically, there are Orion dancing girls going on, pirouetting in the middle of the floor. Commander Tavek is kind of hanging around near the entrance on the inside of the tent. Flaska's come in as well. Lieutenant Targich, the Tellarite security officer, he's kind of hanging back at the entrance. Doesn't seem all that willing to come in at the moment. The Ferengi daemon sticks his feet up on a chair rest that he's seems to have asked the hollow emitters to bring into existence in front of him. So, allow me to introduce myself, Daemon Storbow, at your service. I'll weather those love taps I took at the beginning as a form of bargaining posture. But I think we can both agree that the last thing you want is for your little trinket or treasure or whatever's in that ruin to fall into the hands of the Orions, no? Hopkins will find that once she's on the Ferengi shuttle, all the systems have been powered down, and when she tries to access one of the consoles, it beeps an authorization code request.
Too bad I don't have my bat lift or pistol.
So...
No, I'm not doing anything to that shuttle.
So, back in the tent. So then, my Bolian friend, it looks like you're the one with sense around here. What say we start a conversation?
I'm listening.
You don't want any trouble from the Orions, and I want nothing but trouble for the Orions. They should be cast back into the pits they crawled out of, as far as I'm concerned. Bunch of pirates and ne'er-do-wells. You can guarantee that whatever they want that power source in your bunker ruin for is going to be for their own purposes. Whereas I can guarantee that I really, really want to keep it out of the Orion's hands. So, what say you to an alliance? As I said, I have more than enough soldiers on my ship in orbit. We can beam down a security force, keep an eye on things for you, while you do the things that the Federation does best. Put your noses down into a tricorder and do science stuff.
What kind of guarantees do we have that you aren't just going to betray us? Like, why are you so invested in keeping it out of Orion's hands beyond just, your your just lack of fondness for them?
My lack of fondness, as you so diplomatically put it, is outright bile-filled hatred of the Orions. They've cost me profit on more than one occasion, and I mean to see the same happen to them, so that they know the ignominy of it all. That is my motivation. I come here helping you to establish that there's a spy in your midst, and all I get for my trouble is a slap and a punch, and suspicion. Daemon Storbo kind of leans in conspiratorially towards Dr. Sot. Good on you. You'd make a good Ferengi.
I'm going to stand here and be insulted. But I'd like to confer, perhaps, with Gurkha, see what she thinks as well.
You need to confer with a female before coming to a decision? My.
Straight I do. And Flesk, of course, although he's sort of just staring off into space absentmindedly at the moment.
I was gonna do something then, but I don't think I want to do injustice to Mark's character. I won't do that. But I hasten to note that Flesk is still kitted out from head to toe in an EVA suit. He's the only one. Everyone else is braving and toughing out the weather, but Flesk is there, kitted out from head to toe in a fully confined EVA suit. So, yeah.
I'll be very careful.
I can't bear to see a man debase himself in front of a female like this, so I'm going to have a look around outside while you do whatever it is you do when you ask for permission from a female. He is quite perplexing.
I mean, I don't think we need to go into a full-on alliance right now. But we can be like, oh, you go ahead, we'll investigate your claims, and we can discuss something later.
We just have to keep one eye... Oh, sorry, go on.
An alliance with the Ferengi. On the floor.
I think, yeah, we should keep one eye on the Orions and another eye on the Ferengi, for sure. I don't think we should rely 100% on them for security.
Alrighty. Anybody else want to put their oar in on this?
And the everyone else.
Yeah.
I feel like if we do go into alliance, then it's escalating the problem already.
Point.
Then again, it's always like an opportunity to build relations between our races.
Mm-hmm. Now, what Liz just wrote there sits on the Guicha. I'm actually picturing that Hopkins is, in fact, she climbed up the outside and is on top of it. Just sitting there with her arms crossed, watching the Ferengi, yes?
Yeah, on the top of the ship.
Just glaring down imperiously.
Totally not sitting in the captain's chair of the ship.
Oh, okay. You are inside the captain's chair of the ship. Garrow, just pulling you down a little bit. The the daemon is kind of sniffing around the back of the shuttle. Just seems to be appraising it. Moves over towards the Guicha, looks over it a little bit, sniffs, and goes back to the shuttle. So, any advancement yet on whether or not you want to take my more than generous offer?
Well, that's really not up to me. I'm waiting for a much more group consensus rather than my own personal preferences here.
Oh, you Federation types and your group consensus. Make a decision for yourself, man. For instance, if you were to sell me some of the parts to this shuttlecraft, I could make you a very rich man. And I know how much you Bajorans like your jewelry. How would you like that little earring of yours to be made of platinum?
Oh. I may be Bajoran, but I'm also part of the Federation.
Ah, you
Also
people are no
members.
fun. Well, I can see that you're having trouble making up your mind, so why don't I and my friends here just retire to our shuttle, and we'll wait for you to come to a decision. We'll even stick around to keep an eye out for those pesky Orions, free of charge. How's that sound? Nope, no need to thank me. If you need to thank me, you can come and visit me on the shuttle.
Understood.
I really think we should probably just take them up on their offer just to keep an eye on them. It'll be easier if we're all at least pretending to be on side.
No.
Well,
What do
Well,
other people think?
Well, you know,
Hey, I
Tellarites
want-
are good for arguing their points. They like to argue the counterpoint, so yeah. What do other people think?
They're rude.
The Ferengi. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, I agree with the Doctor here. Is that we should be? I think we should have them around just to keep an eye on them. At least if they are here, then
Then you can see what they're up to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
exactly.
So keep them in front of us.
I'm going to put I'm going to try and make a program on the shuttle to interfere with any scans they are doing on their shuttle.
Okay.
Yeah, so saying, innit, keep your friends close and your enemies even closer.
Yeah.
But does that mean we're going to enter an alliance, or we're just going to be like, okay, you can stay around, but...
Closer to the latter than the former. I don't want a full-on alliance either, but I just don't want to be... We could do without another antagonist, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep them. Let's keep them in front of us, so we can actually keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
only those
Obviously,
three.
no tell them that.
I don't need more Ferengi down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more Ferengi, and we're going to be overrun.
Mm-hmm.
How about we write out the contract, but we're not in a full blown out alliance. It's just the terms of what we're going to do.
Sure.
And this is where the interstellar law of Gurkau comes in very handy. It's time to write a contract, the only thing the Ferengi understand.
Well, I can always ask the captain to send down a few additional security team or two
You
to
got
show him that we don't need security.
That means another shuttle down here, and we haven't got space for another shuttle. Remember, we cannot teleport down here.
We have another shuttle still on the ship.
Yes, but we do not have enough space for another shuttle down here without making things a lot more difficult for us when it comes to defending this place.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Having more security people down here is a advantage to us, but at the same time, I do not want to be showing my hand. I do not want us as a group as the Starfleet to show our hands too soon to the Ferengi.
So, it seems that you're going to let the Daemon and his guys stick around, but not allow them to bring any more security teams of their own down, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, are you going to let them wander around, or are you going to confine them to just the shuttle? Or are you going to let them wander around in the area around the shuttle?
If they wander around, they must be in the company of
Someone else
Gurkau.
from this lot. Oh, Gurkau, even. Okay.
I've not punched them yet, so it's about time.
Gurkha, you're on Ferengi minding duty. Okay, so you were going to do a program. You were going to draw up a contract. I'm actually going to ask you to come up with a contract using... Let's just go with... reason and security from Gurkau, please, with the focus of interstellar law. Difficulty 1, just so you can try and draw something up that doesn't give the Ferengi any wiggle room.
Okay.
See how well you can do this. Now, you've already specified a lot of what you're going to do, so I'll count that as that. And that was one success, which is pretty much on the nose. Okay, cool. So, Tavish, on the other hand, is setting up an interference field, which is going to be control and engineering.
focuses in computers.
It's less computers, it's more the system you're going to use to create interference, which is going to be basically probably the deflector, which is your main, the shuttle's main energy emitting.
Would it be power systems then?
I can go with that.
Yeah.
I can go with that. This will be a difficulty one because there's not much. There's not much you need to do to interfere with scans. What with the fact that there's a lot of ionic interference going on in the atmosphere at the moment, which is slowly building up. So you can ride on the back of that depending on how well you do. So go for it. That wasn't bad at all. 2 successes. So yeah. Tavish is able to modify the shuttle's deflector emitter to mimic but intensify the interference caused by the ions in the atmosphere. So it looks like it's an environmental thing rather than somebody deliberately jamming their scans. Cool. So Gurkow goes to deliver the terms and conditions of their ability to stay. And, yeah, she just basically walks up to the Ferengi shuttle and hands them the datapad with the contract on, at which point Damon Storbo takes it, has a read of it, and goes, "What? There's no abusive clauses in this contract. You're not even trying to fleece me. I mean, yes, there's small print. Very good on the small print, by the way. You're not trying to fleece me of my belongings with this contract. You Federation types have a lot to learn."
If you really want to be fleeced, just take me to your double tables.
Well, that would be entertaining, I'm sure, to see a female try and beat that Ferengi at Damo. But it says right here that we're basically confined to our shuttle, or if we're to roam about here, helping you keep this place free of Orion taint, then we've got to do so whilst under guard. A Tellarite female as a guard. That's a good one. And they say these Federation types don't have a sense of humor. Well, we'll just...
Are you getting with it?
Go on.
Are you getting with it, or you can get out?
Ooh, forceful. I like it. Well... my boys and I will stay here for the moment, since this weather reminds me of home more than a little bit. I think I'll take in the nostalgia. We'll do some scans of the area to make sure that the Orions aren't making nuisances of themselves. In the meantime, we'll leave you to your dirt digging escapades, if that's what you like to do. Off you toddle now. Did I just hear the Connie equivalent of Sazafrazza, shit, I'll friggin' punch you in the face?
She's being incredibly reasonable, but that's not. She is still a Tellarite.
Yeah.
This is a gigantic force of will. Fair play.
I mean, he's been struck twice, so I don't want to escalate anymore.
And this is a family show.
Yes, indeed. I like it. Well done, Chris. That's a point. I still owe Mr. Powell a +2 bonus or something on his next roll, thanks to that enormously funny witticism you sparked at the end of our Halloween episode. So bank that one.
Thank you.
So, Commander Tavek at this point is like, so we are letting the Ferengi remain, and we ourselves are to continue prepping for the drilling of the ruins so that we can get inside and find the power source. But that leads me to another question, Commander. What about the Ferengi's claim that there's a spy here in the camp?
We can look through the communications and see if there is any abnormalities.
That is logical. Our communications go out in burst packets, usually, especially because sometimes the inclement weather interferes with our communications. Therefore, we have a central communication hub that stores all of our logs and personal messages for burst transmission. It should be fairly easy, I would imagine, to isolate any rogue signals.
Tavish, we got a job for you.
Hopkins pretty much sticks her fingers in her mouth and whistles. Tavish! That was me doing my operatic. Maybe if you say her name 3 times, she'll appear. Tavish
Yes,
coming back from the
Commander.
shuttle, going, I was absolutely not doing anything in the shuttle, no ma'am.
What would you like, Commander?
Can you look through all of their communications and see if there's any rogue messages that could possibly point to the Ferengi's assumption that there's somebody who's not totally on our side?
And we've
Yeah.
barely even spoken to the Andorians or the 2 ensigns
Mhm.
up north, right?
Correct.
We haven't even talked with them.
Nope. So, yes, you can feel free to talk to whomever you wish now. So-
oh,
Yes.
Fine, I'll go and do it.
Shut up.
I think I'm happy to go talk to the Andorians. We're all blue. There's some common ground right from the get-go.
We're blue, daboo dee daboo die. Just a random thing has just now popped into my head. You got to wonder what Bolians and some Tellarites and Andorians make of when they look through Earth historical archives and come across the Blue Man group. They're like, I'm entertained, but I'm also kind of wondering if they're a bit racist. Is this what they thought we would be like? Anyway,
Or even when they come across the Smurfs.
well, yeah, some weird,
Thank
wacky
you for
stuff
providing
going
an
on.
idea for Dr. Sott's Halloween costume next year.
If there is a Halloween next year, considering what you guys went through with Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang's holodeck program, which, according to Tavish, is never happening again.
Hopkins is same. Nope.
Big
Oh,
ol' no.
no.
Next Halloween, we're doing a Klingon Halloween.
Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang. Oh, all her accesses to the holodeck have gone for some strange reason.
In perpetuity. Alright, so, Dr. Sott, Flask can back up whomever, whenever. But Dr. Sott goes off to visit the Andorians. Brother and sister, so the resemblance is very easy to spot, rather, and is rather striking. They, from a simple conversation with them, they are technically subordinate to Dr. Sarah McCall, because they're civilians, not members of Starfleet. As such, they're not as beholden to the whole chain of command kind of thing, so they find that a bit tough to get to grips with at first. Because even though they technically work for Dr. McCall, they're not getting issued orders in the same fashion as their Starfleet counterparts. But nevertheless, they're enjoying their time here because they're interested in other civilizations and are interested in what this power source might be, because who knows what kind of technological advancements might come from something like this. So they're very typical wide-eyed young scientists who are got their minds full of the potential for the future. If Sot wants to give me an insight and... I'll go with insight and command for this to see what kind of general impression he gets of these two.
Sure.
You do have, what was it, warm welcome or bedside manner or something? Cheerful, outgoing personality. Use your presence instead. Other people can use your presence instead of theirs. You can ignore increases in complication for social stuff. Cool. What was bedside
Like,
manner?
honestly, my insight is higher than my presence anyway.
Okay. That's not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. 2 successes. So, Sot, being very much a people person and, you know, a doctor has to be trained in how to pick up the little clues that somebody's hiding something, usually when it comes to, you know, medical things, especially when you deal with folks in Starfleet, not to mention commanding officers. The whole usual thing of, I'm fine, doctor, really, is something they drill into you in Starfleet medical very early on. It's a case of, you know, junior officers will come to you with their problems. Senior officers will try and act tough. Don't let them.
Especially if they're Klingons.
Well, I think it's... Well, yes, absolutely, if they're Klingons, but it seems to be something that's common across a lot of senior officers throughout Starfleet. But nevertheless, Dr. Sot doesn't have the overall impression that they're hiding anything. Their enthusiasm seems genuine, but they do let slip that they're rather concerned sometimes about Dr. McCall herself. It is McCall. Yes, it's McCall. They say they sometimes arrive. They usually check in with her at the end of the day. Hand over their reports as to what they've managed to catalogue so far. You know, just basically, you know, this is what we've done at the end of the day. And sometimes when they go into her tent, they see that she seems preoccupied, maybe even a little anxious. And Taffy, the female, Andorian, she says that once when she went in to hand over a report, just a basic report, Dr. McCall very quickly switched tabs on her computer as to what she was doing. Taffy didn't think anything of it because the doctor's a busy lady and probably has more than a few tabs open on her computer.
Not like incognito mode.
So there you go. That's the kind of impression that Sot gets from these two. Meanwhile, Hopkins seems to go up to the 2 ensigns. So, Ensign Leela Edwards and Ensign Malcolm Aversion. Apparently, yes, that is his real name, Ensign Aversion. Apparently, he used to be called Ensign Inversion as a joke. Funnily enough, nobody found it very funny for very long, so they stopped calling him Ensign Inversion after they realised that it was not humorous in the least. However, I take it Hopkins is just basically asking them about what they do and anything unusual they've seen, that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Also,
So-
I was trying to get away from the Ferengis as much as possible.
All right. So what the impression that she gets is that both the ensigns are responsible primarily for the the note-taking, the sample sorting, all the kind of grunt work that needs to be done. They're both very recently graduated from Starfleet Academy, and so this is kind of their assignment as part of their training period. So this is them, their initial secondment to the science division. So yeah, Ensign Aversion admits that he thought coming to a world like this might have been exciting and adventurous at first, but he's now finding that just brushing away dirt and cataloguing objects that they find in ruins is starting to get rather boring. However, in spite of that, they both appear to be very fond of Commander Tavik, and they're both very excited about the prospect of what they might find in the bunker. But Leela Edwards does pipe up that she's fairly certain that this power reading, whatever it is that the sensors are picking up inside of the ruin, is the only interesting thing on this entire planet. If Hopkins wants to also give me an insight and command check to see if she gets the impression if they're holding anything back or telling you lies, feel free to do so. Yeah, so similar with Sot. You've worked with enough people to get a general idea of the kind of body language that people give out when they're hiding something, and these ensigns seem to be pretty genuine as well. They know they're the lowest on the totem pole, as it were, and this is the kind of grunt work they need to do in order to start on climbing the ladder of Starfleet, as it were. But yeah, they seem genuinely interested in what the bunker might uncover. But yeah, it's grunt work of the highest order, so they're just kind of gritting their teeth and getting on with it. But nothing else more than that, it seems. Anybody else doing any questions or whatnot? Or are we now going to be looking into the communications logs? Do we think? I mean, Mark's not here to say what Flesk would be doing, unless Garrow's looking to do anything specific.
Not really, no.
Okay, what about Gurkow? Or is she hanging around to keep an eye on the Ferengi?
Just keeping an eye.
Alright then, so what's Tavish doing then? Looking to use the comm system to look for any unusual activity?
Yes, please.
Okie dokies. So, let me see. We've done all
Probably
that.
going to do it. He's
Yeah,
probably going to do it. Ask anybody who is close to her to basically just kind of go away. In a very commanding voice.
So, Tavish is looking to basically ask Ensign Kenson... I'm sorry, that does not stop being funny. Ensign Kenson to relocate somewhere else for a brief period of time.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess I could just go back to my bunk, says the ensign as she moves off. I'm easily amused, okay? Ensign Kenson is just too funny. I can't say it without cracking up. Okay. No, see,
if Ensign Kenson keeps on doing really well, then Tavish may give her a recommendation.
Oh, you're gonna make my life harder by bringing Ensign Kenson on board the combs and making me say Ensign Kenson much more often. I get it.
I'm such a good friend, aren't I?
You just have to promote her as fast as possible.
Well, the commander can always make a recommendation for a transfer. If she's feeling particularly mean to me. And I'm still chuckling. I can't help it. Ensign Kenson is funny, man. I can't help chuckling. Serious.
So, who wants to get transferred into where?
Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Moving on quickly.
So, yes. Finding out about... yes.
So,
these communications.
You do have computers, and that's primarily what you're going to be using to look through all these various communication logs. So Tavish could basically put together a computer search program to try and look for any communications that look atypical. That won't take you terribly long, but it'll take you a little time to input. So control and engineering with a focus on computers, if you please, Mr. Dave, sir.
Okay.
I won't tell you what the difficulty is going to be, because it'll be contingent on what I've got in my head.
Can I hold on. Hold on. Can I use a momentum, please, guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Here we are. Momentum down. Trying to make sure she gets this. Nice. Let's see.
Focus. And a roll.
Good, good, good. Alrighty, so 3 successes overall means you're pretty confident in the quality of your program. Like I said, it'll take a little bit of time to sort through, but with that many successes, it won't be that long. So it's just a case now of running the program, which you're doing, and watching as it screeds through all these various different comm signals and is looking for something, anything, that might be out of place.
Why would Ensign Kenton send this?
I'm not gonna laugh, 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 I'm not gonna laugh. Breathe, man, breathe. In, and out. Okay. Damn you, Dave. Right, I'm going to ask for good... Damn it, I can't help myself. It gets worse the more I try and hold it in. Right. You earn a momentum for the 3 successes that you got for creating that computer program. Meanwhile, I am going to ask for Lieutenant Garrow and Lieutenant Gurkow to give me a... Let me see... Insight and security check, please. Meanwhile...
If this thing will actually... do it. Come on.
2 successes. Okay, cool. So 1 from Garrow, please. 1 dice from Garrow, please, if you could.
Yeah. Okay, 1 from... Here we go. I don't need to do focused or anything like that.
If you think any of your focuses would apply to spotting something out of the ordinary, then...
Okay, nope. Can't figure anything off my head, so there you go.
Alright, that was at least 3. Blimey. 3 successes versus... 2. Nice. So, Garrow and Gurkow are kind of lingering around that area, just doing what you do when you're keeping guard. And that's when Gurkow thinks she hears something coming from the Ferengi shuttle. And even though through the shuttle's viewport, Gurkow can see Damon Sorbo and one of his fellow Ferengi soldiers, it sounds like the noise is coming from somewhere around the back of the Ferengi shuttle. And Gurkow hears it enough that she signals to Garrow that she can actually hear something going on at the Ferengi shuttle. How you would like to react to that is your prerogative.
Okay. Well, I say slowly walk up to the Ferengi shuttle just in case.
Alrighty.
Take a look.
Okay, so Chris, you're all the way down there for the moment. Gurkow's looking around. From the front, she can still see Damon Sorbo is there, who just seems to be having a conversation with his subordinate. As Gurkow moves around there, she spots one of the other Ferengi, kind of sneaking around the back.
Just gonna get out the light.
Yeah, you got a spotlight right in your face, so it's a case of ah! But yeah, as soon as you get out of it, you see the shifty shape of a Ferengi, who then notices you noticing him, at which point he stops dead in his tracks, looks around very quickly, and then straightens up, looks at the hull of the shuttle and goes, "Oh my! Look at that! A dent! I will have to bang that out later. Yes, poor maintenance. I should get right on that."
Do you need
Okay.
some assistance?
Oh no, that's very very nice of you. Very nice of you. But I think I got it. I just got to go back into the shuttle and get my repairing kit. He's got that kind of thing that raccoons do when they look like they're ready for you to jump at them, and he's kind of frozen in place, but he's slowly putting one foot behind the other and backing away as slowly as he can whilst keeping you in full view as if he expects you to leap at him at any moment. As soon as Garrow moves to the other side, he kind of stops.
Yeah, I can't actually move on this at the moment. I think I'm gonna have to
Okay, well, you did just move for me, so that's cool. But if you think you need to log in, log out to get better connection, that's fine. But the Ferengi kind of... I'd like to go back in my shuttle now, please.
Yeah, you go in.
Thank you. You're a very nice Tellarite. Very nish. He kind of retreats back into the shuttle and closes the door very quickly.
So, I'm gonna scan what he was doing around here. Immediate scan.
I'll keep an eye on the door here.
Okay, it's not immediately obvious what he was up to. Your scan doesn't reveal anything too much, except... Give me a control and... Give me a control and science check, please. Garrow can assist if he wants with insight and security.
Insight, security, 1 dice.
Yes, please. Nothing really applies, but that was good. That was a good number of successes there. 2 successes overall. Okay. Garrow reckons that this guy was obviously sneaking out for something. And the direction he was coming from, he could have used that spotlight as a means of covering his sneak. There's any number of things he could have been up to, but, you know, you caught him sneaking out, so he was up to no good. What he was up to is difficult to tell at this point. However, now that Gurkha's gone to the effort of whipping out the tricorder and having a look at what they might have been up to, you get a note on the tricorder that suggests that the Ferengi shuttle is initiating a very distinct, localized scan of both the shuttle and the Vorcha. Not the Vorcha, the Guicha. I'll leave that there for the moment. Meanwhile, can I get from Sot and Hopkins an insight and security check, please? I mean, Sot could assist Hopkins.
I think I better have. My security is laughable.
You are up against the following. Ooh! Alrighty. Alright, so Sot, no successes, but did we get anything from Hopkins yet? Liz, you back yet? No.
Did he roll as the Orion guard accidentally?
No, that was, I think, me.
Was,
I will
okay,
roll
cool.
as... what was it? It was insight and security. Whoops, daisy.
Game master. My bad.
Okay, 1 success overall, but considering the atrocious roll I just did. So, Dr. Sot comes out of the tent after talking to the Andorian civilian science pair. Hopkins herself has just finished having a word with the 2 ensigns. And that's about the time that both Hopkins and Sot think they can hear something coming from the entrance to the dig site. way up to the north of your current position. So the area where there's going to be a proposed is going to be the area proposed where the drill is going to happen, where they're going to try and enter into the bunker. You can hear the sound of voices and a couple of clumsy attempts at setting something up. You can definitely hear the rattle of technology. But there's also the sound of, would you be quiet? They're going to hear us. No one's going to hear us. They're all the way down there. At which point, you do spot. In the shadows, there appear to be a pair of Orions who may not have spotted you yet. I'm going to have them make their own insight and security check to see if they spot you coming up on them. I got 2 successes. Are Sot and Hopkins looking to be sneaky?
I think so, yeah.
Control.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what they're doing.
Control and security from both, please. Once again, Sot is probably better off helping Hopkins. Again, not much help from Dr. Sot. However... oh. So you're trying to be careful, but unfortunately you do have to step through an area of very well covered light in this area here. At which point, the Orions appear to be, when you get closer, fiddling with a piece of technology that looks like some kind of very badly botched phaser drill of some kind. It looks like they've cobbled together something, maybe based upon a phaser rifle or a disruptor rifle, and they've tried to adapt it somehow using like a tripod stand as a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? There's an actual word for it when you patch together something with an intent of making it into something it wasn't originally going to be. But
MacGyvered.
well, let's go with that. Actually, come to think of it, I do owe Chris that that extra success for the thing. So let's do that now. Hopkins and Sot do manage to make it stealthily, without them noticing you, as a reward for that ridiculously witty comment you made at the end of Halloween episode. So the Orions appear to be trying to set up their own version of a drill, and they look like they're trying to burrow into the side of the proposed drill site. They haven't noticed you yet. So what would you like to do? I mean, you've got every right, the ability to sneak up on them and do something, so...
Dr. Sot still has my weapons, right?
I think, yeah, Dr. Sot pretty much took all the weapons away from folks he thinks were going to assault the Ferengi, so... yeah. I haven't heard otherwise, so I'm guessing you've still got them. Hey, Doc, let me have that again.
Pretty much. It's like, can I have my bat lift back?
Yes, sorry, I just stepped back in. Yeah, I think maybe we should try and, like, lay low, see what they're doing. Maybe try and very discreetly summon over at least a few other people to get the, the numbers over them, in case they turn nasty.
Would the 2 ensigns be able to see us?
You've made yourselves kind of quiet, but you could open a whispered comm channel to somebody, I suppose.
Can we get a couple of red shirts up here on the double? Thanks.
Maybe Garrow.
Oh, yeah. She would try to get Garrow, but she would also ask the 2 ensigns, seeing as they were probably the closest, at least for now.
Let's get
Quick
the 2
reinforcements.
Ensigns. Let's get the 2 ensigns up. Chris, does Garrow want any part of this, or is he keeping an eye on the Ferengi for now?
I'm going to keep an eye on the Ferengi for now.
Alrighty, so there's the 2 ensigns. So the 2 ensigns come up, and they're like, "Help me, Commander."
They
Now-
both have phasers, right?
Technically yes, but they would have to go to the equipment lock, the security locker, to get them. And they very much make a note that they're both science students more than they are security.
can we see if the Orions are armed? Because I feel like if they're not, maybe we could make our presence known.
The Orions do look like they are armed, but they're very much... I mean, you can see each of them has got like a dagger sheathed and maybe a pistol, but they're very much concerned with setting up this hodgepodge of a drill. So you could get the drop on them very easily.
I think maybe we should
That-
go for that.
Does Dr. Sot hand Hopkins back her disruptor pistol and batleth?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna sneak up right behind the two Orions with the batleth.
Okay. Dr. Sot's got a hyper spray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can use that as well.
She will just tap this Orion on the shoulder with the batleth.
And I will stun this one simultaneously, please.
Alright, so let's do Sot first then. So, control and medicine, please, from Dr. Sot versus this guy's... probably daring and security, but he's going to get difficulty. I'm going to take away one of his successes. Oh, so it's on the money. So the guy turns around as he hears his fellow go, "What the?" when he feels Hopkins tap him on the shoulder, and he turns around just to see Sot reach over and land the hyper spray on his neck, and yep, he's out. He just goes, "Oh!" and falls over, asleep from the sedative. Meanwhile, the other guard just turns around and goes, "What the?" and then is just staring up at Hopkins standing over him with the batleth.
Like, I'll give you one chance to surrender peacefully, or you meet batleth.
So he slowly raises his hands. Okay, you got me. We were just doing a bit of archaeology. That's what you guys are all about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You got another one of those hyper sprays.
What? At this point, I think it's a case of the Orion just goes, "What?" and Dr. Sot just nails him with another one. Down he goes.
Should we take them back to camp? Maybe have the ensigns help, like, carry them. And how big is the equipment they were using?
It's basically a disruptor rifle balanced on like a tripod.
Hey, ensigns, what do you make of this hodgepodge of equipment?
Ensign Edwards goes up to it, taps a few of the buttons, and then powers it down, and she's like, "I'm pretty sure if they'd have fired, they'd have blown themselves up. This thing was set for sustained fire, but they hadn't actually set it so that it didn't get any feedback along the pulse, along the particle beam. So, at this close range, I'm pretty sure they would have killed themselves. But they could also have collapsed the entrance to the bunker as well, which would have been bad."
Let's go take these two beauties to the Guicha.
Aha! Alright then, let me move them all the way down to the Guicha.
Pretty sure we have a hold somewhere to put these two in.
Probably a cramped cargo compartment that you can dump them into unceremoniously, yes.
After disarming them.
Oh, yes. The ensigns will, in that case, they will come back to camp, because all of a sudden they're not feeling quite so confident. So they're going to report back to their commander, Tavek, but they are going to fetch the Andorians on their way past, because they don't feel like leaving them up there when there's Orions around. This gives Hopkins the chance to come back. Actually, let me drag your character back. As you're bringing them back to the Guicha. Who have I missed? Oh yes, Sot. Sot's by there. Cool. So while all that was going on, Tavish is waiting for the computer program to isolate some unusual messages, and it comes up with a result. In fact, it comes up with several results. For whatever reason, it found that some of the data packets being sent by Dr. McCall were slightly larger than they should have been, considering the contents of what the messages should have been. So the messages going out from Dr. McCall's logs are pretty much at first what you expect. They're scientific, rundowns of everything that the excavation team has found so far, mineralogical analysis, that kind of stuff. But considering the kind of data that's going into it, there seems to be extra data piled on top of that's not immediately obvious. And so Tavish's program is highlighting some of these communications, and tellingly enough, one of the communications with the extra packet size happened very shortly after Commander Tavik made his personal log about the fact that they've now found a way into the bunker to get the power source. And less than an hour to an hour and a half later, McCall was sending her own communication packet out. So make of that what you will.
I'm going to save the evidence.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell anybody yet.
Okay.
But I am going to go to the doctor's tent,
Which is down here, where I am currently pinging. So Tavish, doing her best to look incognito. Walking through the rain, going up to Dr. McCall as I'm walking through the rain. Don't mind me. That's now in my head canon that she was actually singing that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
But before we deal with what happens with Dr. McCall and Lieutenant Tavish, I'm going to briefly take us back to Gurkow and Garrow, as Gurkow had picked up that the Ferengi shuttle was now issuing narrow-band sensor scans of both the Guichar and the shuttle you guys also brought down. Analysis. There appear to be constant streams of transmission data being sent to both the shuttle and the Guichar. Your best analysis would be... Actually, let me make you test for this. Reason and science, and Garrow can assist with reason and security.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No, that's good. One success. Very good, very good. And one success from you. Okay, so looking at these transmissions that are going out, the fact that they are... It's like they're sending out sensor pings or communication pings, and then they're getting a null return, so they're changing the... they're changing the communication frequency, sending out another ping, getting nothing back. Your best guess would be that they're trying to hack into the computer systems of both the Guichar or the shuttle, whichever one yields first. They're trying out different security remote security accesses.
They're doing what to my ships?
They're trying to hack into them. But you don't know this because you're on the way to Dr. McCall. So what would Garrow and Gurkow like to do?
But does Tavish's program, is that able to prevent it from hacking into our...
Tavish's program was set up to prevent their sensors, if I recall.
Yes, it was.
So they've switched to using communications to try and basically try and create a line into the communication systems of the two shuttles and gain access to them that way. So the short answer is no. Go on, Chris.
I believe this is what they call. I believe this is what they call in the 21st century communications a phishing scam.
Something along that line? Fishing line. Nobody. Okay, just me. For that, I will take away one threat because that was a god's awful joke. Plus, I haven't exactly been using my threat pool, so I may as well.
Music for my ears. No threat.
Less threat. So, what would Garo and Gurkha like to do with the knowledge they have just gleaned?
I think I would like to spread it to the group.
Yeah.
I think Hopkins is busy with the Orions. Tavish is busy with this. But like whoever is ready and wants to.
Can we get a Flesk to help out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where is Flesk? Where do we stash him? He's in the entertainment tent. He's been watching the Orion girls this entire time.
Stumbling wordlessly about in his EV suit.
Yeah. He's probably been talking with Ensign... Oh, what's the insectoid guy's name again? Ensign Pakcha. Probably be swapping stories with Ensign Pakcha. So, yep, you can get a Flesk up. Whilst, Hopkins and Dr. Sot go past with an unconscious Orion between them. Hey guys, how's it going? So, Garo and Gurkha are like, I'm not going to ask.
We went fishing.
Look what we caught.
Should we have Flesk then secure our security systems on our shuttles?
Alrighty. In that case, let's have... Who hasn't rolled in a while? Actually, since it's Connie's idea, why don't we get you to be Flesk for a moment? Yes, you get to use somebody else's character. Now, this is a simple thing. Let's see. Control and Control and engineering would make sense. What has he got? I mean, he doesn't have security systems, but he's essentially trying to lock down the shuttle. He could use his deflector shield, force field technology thing to do something with the deflector to make it harder to for communications, these hacking communications to get through.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
That's not bad. 2 successes. So there we are. That's a good start, a good basis. So, whilst Gurkha and Garo are basically, surreptitiously asked Flesk to visit the shuttle and then perform a security update, just in case the Ferengi are listening. And, all of a sudden, from within the Ferengi shuttle, you can hear, "What do you mean, you Flesk connection? Get it back! What do I pay you for?" "Yes, okay, I acknowledge I don't pay you much, but still."
I was about to say, I'd be surprised if he doesn't pay him at all.
He does have really small ears.
Meanwhile, let's see. So, Hopkins has, with Sot's help, delivered the Orions to the cargo hold of the Gwicha. Gurkha, Garo, and Flesk are dealing with the Ferengi, which leaves us with Tavish and Dr. Sarah McCall. As Tavish is surreptitiously making her way as nonchalantly as she possibly can towards Dr. McCall's tent, as Tavish opens up the tent, what you see when you get in there is that Dr. McCall has... It seems to be... Let me try that again. Dr. McCall seems to be in an open communication line with this fellow. who you only saw once before when you first came down to the planet and found this Orion and others threatening the excavation crew. So McCall is currently on a video call with the Orion captain, and she appears to be having some difficulty. There's a lot of interference on the call, and therefore not a lot of what the Orion's saying is coming through. But as soon as Tavish steps through, she hears the doctor say, "I've given you what you ask. Now return David to me." At which point, even in the garbled transmission, the Orion captain goes, "When this is all taken care of, we'll give you what you wish." Then the screen goes blank.
Oh,
Dr. McCall
my.
turns, and as she hears you go, "Oh my," she turns around with a look on her face somewhere between shock and relief.
Hello, Dr. McCall.
She looks at Tavish. She kind of then sags defeatedly, nods to herself, turns around to her desk, pulls out a data pad, and hands it to Tavish, saying, "I'm sorry." Now, let's see if I've got this. Yes, I do. So this is the letter that Tavish finds. Hell with it, I'll show it to everybody. I'll just leave this on screen for a little bit longer in case any of our viewers want to... not quite done yet. But let me know when everybody else is done. Or basically, what are you going to do now? Excuse me. With this knowledge... Yes, go on, Dave.
Is it Davida? Because it's David with an A. Sorry.
That's a good question, actually. Let me wing back through this a second. Pardon me.
At the very least, we have an opportunity for a hostage exchange. Maybe 2 for 1. Bargain.
Mm-hmm.
Trade the 2 Orions back for Davida.
It just says fiance, so Davida suggests to me maybe a female, but I could be wrong there. By the way, it doesn't particularly matter.
Well, at the moment, it is just Tavish with this
Yes,
information.
at the moment, it's just Tavish with this information.
Guys!
Tavish just goes, "Okie dokie. Well, I'm glad you
Came clean?
came clean. Yes, it is very honourable of you. I'm going to go and show this to my commanding officer, Doctor. Would you please stay here? Well, I don't want to make things more awkward in the camp for you. Okay?
She doesn't say anything, but she just kind of nods solemnly to herself. Just says, "Okay, I'm not going anywhere."
I will try and sort out your problem. Okay?
Thank you.
It's fine, Sarah.
Oh.
I'm Lily, by the way.
I was better than this.
Hey, we all make mistakes. It's how we learn from them, which makes us stronger. Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. I'll be back. I'll be back soon. You wait here. Actually, maybe clean up your tent a little bit.
She kind of looks. She raises her like a "What the hell are you talking about?" kind of eyebrow. Then looks back at her desk. What? Nevertheless, getting other folks. So, does that mean a communication goes wide to only your guys?
Yes. So she'll just hang around here, and just get and very quietly tell everybody exactly what's been going on, all the information she's found out, and that the doctor is, cooperating. We'll tell them exactly what the letter says.
Okay.
And yeah.
Right then.
And then.
So you've all now got this information. The who and the why. What would you like to do with it?
Hey, Dr. Sod, how long does this sedative last?
It'll put you out for a good hour or so. So.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously we can bring them round as necessary.
Yeah, can you bring one around? So I can have a little talk with them?
She says,
Sure.
cracking her knuckles. You could practically hear the inverted commas around the word talk, couldn't you? This is diplomacy, Klingon fashion. Sure, it's no problem. You don't need to make a check to bring them out of sedation. It's easy enough. You've got all the necessary chemicals in your hyperspray, so one of the Orions comes to. Worst trip ever. Then he looks up at Sir Hopkins. Oh, hell.
Hello, puppet.
Wait, the what now?
Hello, puppet.
Pup? What? Make up your mind. Am I a puppet or am I a puppet? Either way, I'm not comfortable. I don't dig Klingon ladies, just so you know. It's the ridges. I just can't handle the ridges. They're so abrasive, you know what I mean? But hey, if you really want to go at it right here in this cramped confines with your friend watching...
Oh. What have you done with a certain somebody's member?
Huh? You're going to have to be a little more specific.
As a
We do a lot
personal
of things with
question,
a lot of people. I was going to say, it's a bit of a personal question. I get where she was going with it, mind you. You're going to have to be a bit more specific.
The doctor of this dig site, you have somebody who's special to her. Where are they?
A good distance away from here, so that when she gives us what we want, the information on how to get in, we'll give her back her fiancé. Easy.
Simple. You tell me.
Only
where
the
they
captain's got. Only the captain knows that. That way, if any of us get captured, like seems to be the situation now, we don't have anything to give. Come on, you really think a grunt like me would know all this information? Please.
Can I do a check to see if he's lying?
Absolutely. You've got interrogation, because this is not a negotiation. Insight and security. Or insight and command, whichever's higher. Command is higher.
And focus.
Absolutely. 2 successes. Very good. Okay. You're fairly certain he's telling the truth. A grunt like him doesn't have the necessary information. But he was telling the truth when you think he was telling the truth when he volunteered that the captain is the one who knows. So it's very likely this is pretty much the Orion captain's game from start to finish.
How many people are on your ship?
Ooh, good question. Quick down. So there's these two guys. There's the captain. There's gonna be. How many guys are on your ship? Well, since neither my friend or I here are on the ship, that leaves about 5 more, including the captain. Which is more than enough, trust me. Look, I'm sure we can come to an amicable agreement here. You let us go, let our captain know you have us. He can negotiate the return of the hostage. I'm sure it's all great.
Oh, I'm not gonna let you go until I get the captain down here first. Then we'll negotiate in person.
Oh, God. He says as he leans back defeated. Looks like I'm going to be here a long time. It's at this point that Hopkins and pretty much everybody gets a comm badge chirp. Where, if I can just get this a second. And I need to remember who it is I'm talking with. This is Commander Tavik. We will be ready to commence drilling in about 1 hour. All personnel, please make ready for the dig. And everybody else who wishes to assist, Commander Hopkins and your crew, any assistance would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. The Orion looks up at Hopkins. Saved by the bell?
You wish.
Is this open communications from Hopkins to the rest of our crew?
Are you letting the rest of the crew listen into the interrogation, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
You literally hear her like, you wish you were saved by the bell.
Tavish is gonna go. I think we keep pretending we do not know. We know that. Find out when they're going to attack, which is probably be once we've opened up the dig site. That's the most logical.
Trouble is, I think they do know because Hopkins just said, "We know you've got somebody to do with the doctor."
Yeah,
well,
those
the
two.
Prisoners do.
No, the prisoners do.
Right. Oh, right.
The others do
on
not.
The ship do not know. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Yes?
What weapons did I confiscate from the Orions?
Dagger and a disruptor pistol each.
Ooh. So Hopkins now has 3 disruptor pistols that she's gonna keep.
Jeez, lady.
She's a collector.
I can tell.
So yeah, I think we should be doing that with the help of the doctor, letting we can set up a trap for the other. I can't remember what they're called now.
Oh, the other
Orions
Orions,
and the Ferengi.
Yeah, the other Orions.
Ah.
Can we use the Ferengi for that as well?
Yes, I think we should use the Ferengis for that as well.
Okay, go on. How would you like to go about this?
I'm open to ideas from everybody else.
Well, obviously the ensigns and the 2 lower doctors are going to be helping with the drilling.
Yep.
We could have their security officer look normal. However he normally is armed.
So have him act normal as if nothing's wrong. Okay. Meanwhile, what are you folks going to be doing?
Tavish will ask the doctor what she would be doing, what she's going to be doing with the drill. Normally, if we weren't here, what would she be doing?
Oh,
when it came down to the drill.
Dr. McCall says that she wasn't in the know about what the Orions were planning, but the protocol would be that the Commander Tavek and the rest of the Starfleet guys would set up the phaser drill. And what time do you plan to attack? Okay. So Tavek and the Starfleet guys would be in charge of setting up the drill, and they would be the ones that would commence drilling as soon as they give the all clear that they've managed to safely penetrate the bunker. Then they and the civilian science team would then go into the ruin and try and find this this ancient power source.
Okay.
As far as let me hold on to that, Dave, for a second. Let me just answer Liz's question. The Orions don't have an answer. What time do they plan to attack? They don't know.
For a guess, it's going to come from Dr. McCall about when they once they start drilling, she's got to let them know for a guess. That's what the question will be from Tavish to McCall: are you supposed to let them know
the answer
exactly
is yes.
when? Yes. So that needs to happen still.
Yep.
But
okay.
we need to. If there isn't anybody else, I didn't pick up anybody else sending those kind of communications off to anybody else, did I?
Nope.
So,
just her.
I'm gonna let. I'm gonna tell. I've got to let
everyone else
Dr.
know.
McCall know.
Oh, McCall.
Yeah. Well, let Dr. McCall know that I need to tell everybody else that it needs.
Still needs. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody's on board that we are going to. That if there's anybody with at least some combat experience to help with the fact that there's probably going to be another 5 Orions coming down.
So you guys are basically looking to ambush whoever comes down to try and, more than likely the Orions, whoever comes down to try and claim whatever's in there. Okay, cool. Which probably means you're going to need to let Commander Tavek know, and Dr. McCall suggests this since he's going to be dealing with the logistics of the dig.
Yeah. So, letting the commander know is,
Okay, so what preparations are you guys making? Because Commander Tavek can suggest that maybe, like you've suggested, their security officer, Lieutenant Targich, remains on patrol doing his usual thing, looking, as if he's just doing his job normally. Tavek and the 2 ensigns will be setting up the phaser drill, but as soon as they make a big enough, safe enough hole into the bunker, he suggests that maybe you and yours go down instead, which would be not what the Orions were probably expecting. And if you go down ready and loaded for whoever's going to turn up, then you can probably deal with whoever turns up when you're down there.
Yeah.
And once the whole thing is secured, you can then hand over. That's the general impression I get. Feel free to correct me.
I will ask the commander if he has more than a Phase 1 pistol.
Commander Tavik just looks at Lieutenant Tavish and goes,
one.
"Why on earth would I have a bigger phaser?"
In the camp, not yourself, but in the camp.
The only Type 2 phaser around is in the possession of Lieutenant Targage.
Fair enough.
As I have stated before, this is a archaeological dig.
Commander Hopkins is going to offer the third disruptor pistol to Dr. Sot's like, hey, you want?
I think Chris just said he'll be right back, so we can only imagine the look on Dr. Sott's face as he just looks down at this disruptor pistol. I'm a doctor, not a security officer.
I do think we need to put them out again. So they are...
I mean, they're shoved in a very tight, cramped cargo container where they have no space to move.
Yeah,
plus
but
one of them still
also,
unconscious.
Yeah, but having both of them still unconscious when this happens will help us. Because they still may... we've probably taken communications devices off of them, but I want to be... I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Alright, Hopkins is gonna knock out this one the old-fashioned way.
Okay. Good old battler to the back of the head. Clang! And yes, you pull him, you push him back uncomfortably into the cargo hold.
It's like, you gotta need therapy after this, if you wake up.
Clang!
What are we going to do with the Ferengis? They have been trying to disrupt our shuttles, haven't they?
I think we should call their bluff and say, okay, your time to shine. Time to face off with some Orions, but just the three of you.
So you want to take the three Ferengi with you to face off against the Orions?
Test the sincerity. Okay. What do you think?
Can Hopkins be the one that does this? Because I want to be able to read them.
Go ahead.
Absolutely, you can.
It's like, short-haired Ferengi.
Let's start things off as we move to go on with insults. All right, let's see. Let me have a look at Damon Solo a moment. Okay. So, he gets all of his spells back because he was just getting slapped about. But, let me see.
Oh, Chris, would Dr. Sot accept a disruptor pistol from Hopkins?
Yeah, go on, and thank you.
All right then. So, Hopkins, can I get you to give me an insight and command check, please? And Dr. Sot is getting a disruptor pistol. Good grief. Okay, let me give you a whoopsie-daisy. Let me give you the actual correct thing. Disruptor pistol.
I still love the fact that nobody's willing to give those kind of weapons to Tavish.
Last time we gave you something, they turned into a grenade.
There we are. Sot now has a disruptor pistol. Diffuse the tension.
I was just reading what it says.
Okay, cool. Alright, nice. Okay, so you basically go up to the Ferengi and you give them the ultimatum, time to step up. If you're really sincere about this, then we've got a plan and you can help us, kind of thing. We'll get the drop on the Orions. And, Damon Sobo comes out of the shuttle and goes, "Well, it's good to see that you've finally seen some sense. We have a mutual enemy, after all, and this would be the most, how would your Vulcan friend say, logical conclusion to come to. But only the three of us. I'm glad you see how strong Ferengi security can be. Very well.
Can you you sure you're able to take on 9 Orions?
Well, you said we'd be with you. So I'm sure between the two of us, both of our groups could take on these Did you say 9 Orions?
Yes.
Interesting. How did you come by this number? Does this have anything to do with those Orions I saw you carrying earlier?
Maybe.
Yeah, well done. Hey, did you mistreat them?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would, actually.
Let's just say they might need therapy.
Excellent, excellent. I hope they go crying back to their green mamas. In any case, yes, very well. If you need our assistance in laying a trap for those pesky Orions, then I will be willing to accompany you alongside my 2 guards here, and we will lay a trap, a cunning trap for these Orion scum. We will, of course, defer to your lead in regards to this. This is, after all, mostly Starfleet and science and stuff, so be sure to let us know when the real fighting stuff begins.
Oh, you'll know.
We need to get ready now, Commander.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, let's start heading there.
Heading there.
Cool. So
As she
essentially,
says,
you
she pulls 2
guys.
destructor pistols out. It's just like,
I want to try and do something while they're away from their shuttle, please.
While the Ferengi are away from their shuttle.
Yes, please.
Sadly for you, they were talking in the entrance ramp to their shuttle, but you could try and sneak something whilst they're otherwise preoccupied with talking to Hopkins, flanked by Gurko and Garrow. So, what was it you were looking to do?
You know how they were trying to hack into our systems?
Yes.
I'm going to do the exact same to them because I'm competent.
Ooh, shots fired. Okay. Control and engineering with a focus on computers. My threat pool has gone again. I don't know why the style sheet keeps losing it. Don't roll yet,
Can
Dave.
Can I have a flask? Help,
You can
please.
absolutely have a flask. Who hasn't rolled in a while? Chris, Mr. Bell.
Alright, yep.
You haven't rolled in a
well,
while. If you can take command of Lieutenant Flesk just for the purposes of this roll. Yes,
okay.
yes, dual-wielding disruptor pistols. Oh yes, absolutely. You're going to John Woo this thing.
Okay.
But
So,
meanwhile,
what was
Flesk.
the-
What was it for Flesk? Let's see. Flesk, we're going to want control and engineering, but I don't
Yep.
think any of his focuses apply. But parent figure, as always, will be the talent to use here. So it's going to be control and engineering for Tavish as well, with a focus on computers, because you're computer hacking the shuttle.
So,
I'm
I don't need to click on focus or anything like that.
Not for Flesk, no. Just 1 dice, and that's it.
Okay, rolling it.
Dave?
I am using a focus. I'm also using a value, a determination. I am going to be using where there's a will, there's a way.
Cool, and I have just dumped 3 from my threat pool into this, so... Let's see how well you manage. You actually managed pretty damned well. 6 successes in total, which does overcome the difficulty I was setting for you. Curse you. All right then. So, yes, using the sensors on the shuttle, you're able to trace back the type of communication signal they were using to try and hack into the shuttle, in which case you're able to use a very similar communication frequency to just ping back into the Ferengi's own systems, and you've gained access to the computer. In a somewhat limited fashion, but at least it lets you have a little look around. But, as has previously been noted, you don't have a heck of a lot of time to spend trawling through the database of the Ferengi shuttle. So are you looking for anything specific, or are you looking to do anything specific with regards to this Ferengi shuttle and its systems?
I was, and the rest of the team if they come up with any ideas. I was thinking about finding exact if they've been in navigation-wise where they've been.
Oh, you want a lot of access to all their navigational logs to see where they've been. Ah, okay. In that case, yeah, with that many successes, I can give you that. They've been all over the place recently. There's a lot of coordinates that are logged in the navigational computer. It is no surprise to you almost how unkempt and disorganized a Ferengi communication log system or navigation system appears to be. At first, it's rather difficult to find anything because they seem to just go with whatever's fastest and easiest, and so their cataloging system is utter rubbish. But you do eventually manage to get through a load of coordinates, which suggests they've been all around the system and neighboring systems recently, but one does turn up more than others. And this could conceivably be the coordinates of where the fiancé might be getting kept, because there are also a lot of communications that are being monitored. It looks like, from the access that you gained, that the Ferengi were monitoring Orion transmissions in the area. So there's a large number of communications that have been logged in the Ferengi system, but they are communications that were intercepted rather than actually sent. So it seems like Damon Storbo and his crew have been keeping a very close watch on the Orions, even to the point of intercepting their communications.
Fantastic. More information, that's better.
So, with this all in mind, the 0 hour has pretty much come. The lieutenant and his dig crew are ready to begin the phaser drill, especially because weather reports indicate that the storm is getting stronger and will hit this area within the next couple of hours. And therefore, things need to be done quickly in order to secure whatever it is the power source appears to be, and also get it to safety. Either securing it here on the planet or by getting it via shuttle up to the ships in orbit in order to keep them safe from being damaged in any way. So, with that in mind, your plan. So, you guys were going to let the Starfleet crew open up the bunker first and then go in yourselves to head off or intercept anybody who was going to be laying a trap. So yes, as Hopkins is showing you, the dig site is all the way up north, but I won't need you all to find your way up there. The dig crew set up the phaser drill, and they've been practicing this, so they look as if they've done this routine quite a few times to rehearse. It doesn't take that long. There's a good bit of anxious waiting, but the drill does eventually open up the bunker. And that's where I am going to move us. To inside the bunker. So let's see who we find. Right, so we're supposed to have the Ferengi as well, so let's bring them in. Whoop. So, the area where the hatchway, or the entryway to the bunker, was not very big. To make things worse, the roof has collapsed over the hatchway to the bunker. The science team felt that they could get the debris out of the way, but it's going to take hours. Every piece needs to be scanned before it can come out in order to prevent the total collapse of the building overhead. So whilst you guys are going down into the inside of the bunker, that's what the others, and I've forgotten his name again, so I'm going to have to quickly dive back to find out who it was. Commander Tavek. Commander Tavek and his group have to pretty much stay behind on the entrance that was opened up to the inside of the bunker so that they can keep it from collapsing. Just turn this down a bit. The inside of the bunker is not quite as large as you imagined it would be. You hear a low hum and a feeling of electricity in the atmosphere surrounding a large cylindrical object, which is at the very end of this place here. The room is dark except for a light surrounding a circular control panel in the wall adjacent to the device. So, up here, but more importantly, down here. Blah, 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 blah. As soon as you step into the light, a number of view screens activate on the east and west walls. These view screens contain what appear to be readouts for various sections of an ancient city. When the view screens activate, so does a light that can only be a red alert warning activating the activation of whatever dormant security system may be present. And that's when the crackling bolts of electricity and waving beams of energy come into existence. Most of the remaining panels are dark, though it seems clear that they are panels that activate the anti-intruder system. In addition, according to tricorder readings, that this thing is emitting more power than a Galaxy-class starship. You do not see any obvious exit points from this room to the outside of the bunker, except for the way which you came. And you wonder how you can access this thing without doing any damage to it. So, what would you like to do? Meanwhile, the Ferengi are looking on all of this and going, I don't like it, boss. This place seems pretty, I don't know, lethal. Would you quiet down and just let the Federations handle this? So, at the moment, the power source is right at the very, very end of this long room, or this long corridor, which is filled with debris and detritus, but the bands of energy appear to be some kind of disruptor field, force field, or some such, and therefore a part of the anti-intruder system. But there is indeed a console down yonder.
Can I have a look at the console, please?
Yes. Now, the console itself is very different to anything you've encountered before. The controls and the keypads and stuff like that are sized strangely. But then you consider the fact that the native reptilian humanoids are apparently descendants of whoever used to live in these ancient cities. So, a kind of large and over-muscled reptilian type would more than likely make use of these oversized buttons, and very, very deep buttons at that, because they more than likely had powerful hands and long claws. So, the controls are in a language you don't at the moment understand, but you could always give it a go to see if you can use your natural engineering talents, and that's not just Tavish, that's anybody who wants to try, to see if they can access the controls in the bunker.
And I use linguistics to try to figure out what these buttons say.
Okay.
To help out Tavish.
Alright, so first things first then, let's go linguistics, which will then, depending on the success, help with trying to gain control of the system. So this is gonna be insight and linguistics. Linguistics is a science, so let's go with insight and science with a focus on linguistics, please, for Hopkins.
This will get me fun.
That's not bad. One success. You can gain a general impression of what the written language is going on about. It definitely looks like it's a series of alert warnings and status reports. So in all likelihood, these controls do have something very much to do with the control of the security system that you're meeting. But there also seems to be some kind of system readiness, which appears to be put into a constant state of waiting. So it's entirely possible that the anti-intruder system is waiting for a command to either activate or deactivate in order to... There might be another security system lying in wait to be activated. But it hasn't had confirmation yet that it can do so. So, with that in mind, what would folks like Tavish and Gurkow and whoever else wants to help out with the nightly flesk?
I want to scan the area then for mechanisms for security measures.
Alright. Control and security, please.
Let's see. Can I use my did the reading?
Yep, okay.
So
No
if
problems there.
folks are okay, I'm going to use a momentum. So
I assume everybody's alright with that momentum spend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Groovy.
Yeah.
excellent. Oh, come on.
Go for
Give me
it.
proud.
That's not bad at all. One success. What was it Gurkha was after again, sorry?
They were looking for the mechanics, just searching the area for security mechanics.
Right, cool.
Mechanisms.
Blah, 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 blah. Security-based mechanics, well, you've got various hatches and access corridors, some of which are crushed, but some of which do appear like they still might have access. You just have to get some debris out of the way. The walls, those long corridors are just about a meter wide, so somebody slim and or short could probably use them to get through. The walls are made out of something that resembles plastic to the eye, but obviously some kind of synthetic material that you're not familiar with. But according to your tricorder readings, the walls are absorbent of energy. So any directed phaser or particle weapon fire would probably be absorbed by the walls. So just trying to destroy your way through these security measures wouldn't work. At this point in time, the only security measures that are obvious are these particle fields and these plasma power arcs that are being used as some kind of deterrent. Whether or not they could be turned to any deadly effect is yet to be noted, but for the most part the security systems seem comprised of mostly stopping you from getting in a direct fashion to the power core at the very end. So the hatchways and conduits, maintenance corridors and whatnot, might be a good means of circumventing those security measures.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
Do we
So-
want to send Tavish?
Do you want to send Tavish?
Yeah. What? I mean, if we can get to the power source, we can hopefully power this all down. Then.
I don't think
It's entirely
smart.
something else that I should have mentioned. It looks like the security system is enabled so that it requires 2 people to deactivate it. One from this panel, one from the other panel at the other end.
So, if we have somebody here, then yeah, I've got no problem taking a Tavish to the other system.
All right. Anybody else want to go along as well, or are people just going to mostly stay back here?
Hopkins is gonna attempt to go with her just to have
Backup.
give her a little bit of muscle just in case
Cool.
the Orions do something.
All right, no problem. So it's going to be Tavish and Hopkins. Garrow, in that case, would probably do best if he stayed back here, just in case. And let's face it, the Ferengi need watching too.
I'm going to whistle to Hopkins to, get a move on. Just like she did outside when she asked me to, come over and talk to her.
Turnabout's fair play, as they say. Okay, cool. So, you two, let's make you give me a fitness and... I'm going to let Tavish give me fitness and engineering because she's moving about through conduits, which she's used to doing, but I'm going to do fitness and security for Hopkins because she's moving into a cramped, confined space. Let's see how well she does.
Fitness is one of my...
So,
I know, Olivia, can I use never back down?
if you really want to, absolutely. So,
none of my focuses are going to work here.
no, so you probably want to assist Hopkins rather than take the lead on this.
Yes.
Now, I am going to spend a point of threat because there are steam vents and whatnot you probably don't want to touch, but that was a magnificently huge success. 5 successes in total. Good grief, you definitely get your full momentum pool back again. Okay, so there's a moment when you start getting closer to the power core because the vent you're in starts getting very hot, so you need to be careful about what you let your skin touch. And you start getting very sweaty and it becomes very close, very humid, very, very difficult to breathe. But you eventually come across an exit vent where Hopkins basically puts her boot into it and cracks open the vent casing, which allows you to get back out to the other end of the room. So Hopkins and Tavish have both successfully made it to the end of the corridor. So, now you need to give me a insight and engineering task with a difficulty of 3, and this includes whoever's on the opposite end to lower the security field and deactivate the power. So this could be Tavish and Gurkow and Flesk, probably. Insight and engineering.
Can I use powered systems as a focus?
Yes, you can. Who's leading this? Tavish?
My insight's awful. It depends on who's... Is it Flesk on the other side?
Could be Gurkow as well.
It's up to... it depends on who's got a... I've got
Flesk,
like 5 engine.
Flesk has got Insight 10, Engineering 5, so it's entirely possible he could take the lead.
Yeah, let him take the lead.
Okay.
I've got Insight 7, Engineering 5. So...
In that case, I will let Mr. Powell take command of Flesk this time. So, Connie and Dave, if you could get your characters to give me Insight and Engineering, just 1 dice each. If you're adding focuses, that's great. If you're adding Determination as well, that's also cool. But, here we go. This is all going to be on Flesk.
Cool. What am I rolling again? Sorry.
Insight and Engineering. He can use his focus of electroplasma power systems.
Cool, and 2 dice for me. Was what you
And
said.
2 dice, unless you want to buy some more for momentum, but I think you've got the maximum.
No, I think we're okay.
2, 3 in total, you get bang on what you needed. So, the, with a hum and a kind of sound, the security systems go off and the power systems turn off. And it's at this point that Damon Storbo starts laughing and then presses a device on his wrist. Nice of you to do all the work for me. As Ferengi soldiers beam in.
But inevitable betrayal.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. But it gets even better because then there's further beam signals as Orions now beam in between you guys and the Ferengi. Now, as the Ferengi beamed in, Damon Sorbo moved so that he and his friends joined the rest of the Ferengi. But then the Orion captain and his guys beam in as well. So, Damon Sorbo says, thank you for doing all the heavy lifting. I will make sure to tell my superiors how helpful the Federation was in our retrieval of the device. I'm certain it will fetch a hefty price. Too bad you will yourselves become a curiosity for future archaeologists. And then, of course, the Orions beam in.
Speak for yourselves.
And the Orions are now looking back and forth between everything that's going on. Now then, what would you like to do?
Turn on the security systems again.
Oh yeah, they could probably do. Oh.
If they
Alright.
can beam in, can we beam out? Like with the device?
No, the device itself is still coupled into the machinery. It has to be physically disconnected, which is going to take effort and time.
That's why I was thinking about turning back on the security.
Just don't accidentally kill anyone.
That's the least of our problems, I think.
All right, final word.
I always say, I know this isn't Federation, I know this isn't Starfleet thingy, but with this many people, I do not believe we can take this many people on without something bad happening.
Bear in
Wait,
mind, like, you know, the Ferengi and the Orions don't present a united force.
No, they don't.
That is true.
That is true,
And-
yeah.
And they
Oh,
they,
They're
They
probably gonna
beamed
have a
in.
bit of a squabble first anyway.
so
they-
how?
Hang
Okay.
on.
So,
Liz, you go next. Liz?
oh, if they beamed in, we can beam in support too.
Yes, if you really want to go that way, yes.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
I think we should go with like probably Dr. Sott's idea, well Chris's idea with like
Play them off against
Actually-
each other.
Let's stir
Yeah,
things up.
yeah, stir things up. While they're stirring things up, I can try. Well, Tavish can try and uncouple this whatever the device is coupled to, while Hopkins looks after her, and we've got Gurkow, Garrow, and Flesk on the other side. I mean, Gurkow could probably beat up most of the Ferengis by herself. So,
Oh, I got an idea on how to play these two against each other.
Go on.
Same here.
All right, let's hear Liz's idea first, and then we'll go for Chris.
Cool.
Oh, I was just gonna. Hang on. Did Tavish tell people that they intercepted the communications between the Orions?
the Ferengi were intercepting the Orion's calls. I was under the impression that you were going to share that kind of information.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well,
Oh, so Hopkins is basically going to tell the Orions, hey, by the way, your communications have been tampered with by the Ferengis.
Cool. Chris,
So, you know...
Sorry, go on.
It's like,
My
you know,
idea was basically. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Liz, I didn't realise Liz hadn't finished. You carry on, Liz.
it's like, you know, do you really want to leave people behind that can read your communications?
Okay. Chris?
My idea was something along the lines of, gentlemen, please, we're all friends here. We've got our top engineer over there, just going to be releasing the device now. But who's going to get it?
And you want them to all bum rush forward to get it. Okay. Which one?
More like have a civilized discussion between both parties as to who do the thing's entitled to it, and then just let it inevitably turn into a brawl from there.
We could always play on both.
Yeah.
We could.
Like,
just to probably add a little bit to Elizabeth's idea, is that if we're telling them that, and they know exactly where the Orion ship is.
ooh.
I mean, we don't know for sure, but
I mean, yeah. It's like the good cop of Dr. Saw trying to be like, gentlemen, let's all be civil. And then me just like...
yeah.
Exactly.
All right then. So, who is going first to stir the pot?
Well, let's do good cop first.
Let's do good cop first. Let's activate Sot and do his basically setting up so that you can then knock him down. So this is definitely going to be presence. And ooh, you are being a gentleman about this kind of thing. The art of subterfuge.
And I forgot to do my...
Let's give Sot presence and command here, but definitely with a definitely
I got
with
my
composure
determination.
Not bad at all, not bad at all, but 0 successes. But you know, you still state what you state. Whether or not it actually moves them to any kind of action at the moment is just kind of made the, you know, gentlemen, we can all be civilized about this, we're about to open this up, and we'll see who gets it, at which point the Orions will, you know, very much bashing their chests, going, well, we're gonna get it, of course, and then Damon Storbo gets in, going, in your dreams, green boy! And
Just gonna take a step back.
Yeah, Sot just kind of backs away as you've very definitely drawn their attention to each other. So... normally, it would be somebody on their side go next, but if you spend 2 points of momentum, you can keep the initiative of have one of you guys go next, like maybe Hopkins, in order to set them off against each other.
yeah, spend 2 momentum. Do it.
Yeah.
I just had to reload again because my momentum pool is gone. There we go. So spend 2 momentum and seize the initiative for Hopkins to basically say what she was going to say about the. Let me do it. Here we are. So Hopkins, you are now giving me a. See how convincing you are. Presence and command.
Presence and command. It's like short airs, green blob.
Hey, green blobs, guess who's been hacking your communications and knows everything you've been doing right up until now?
And if you be nice, we can give you the location of their ship. Oh, and Ferengis, we know the location of their ship as well.
Okie dokie.
Even though we really don't.
Let me replace one of these guys with that, because otherwise I've got nothing to roll off of. Alright, so that's basically the Orions go, that's it! And, yeah. Now, I don't have Tolem for some reason. Where is he? Let me take you out of initiative, and I don't want just Ferengi Soldier, I want Daemon Sorbo in there as well. Let's see, Tolem has been the one angered by the fact that the Ferengi have been tampering with their communications, so Tolem goes next, and yep, he's going to make a beeline for the nearest Ferengi, which means it's one of you that goes next, so who wants to do something?
And we get Tavish to the...
Things to start decoupling it? Okay.
Yes, if that's alright with the rest of the people here.
Yeah, I think that's the right move.
Absolutely doodly. This is going to be a control and engineering check to safely decouple the power supply. You've got power systems as a focus. May as well use that. So you know which plugs to pull out ahead of time and in what order. I am going to up the complication range though, because if you get this wrong...
I'm going to use the determination as well.
Alright then.
Call in a crisis.
Cool beans. Or indeed. Call in a crisis beans.
Control and engineering, yes?
Yes, please.
With, is it computers or power systems?
This is going to be power systems.
Okay.
I'm also going to use the skill of staying the heck back this time.
Well, yeah, we'll get to Garrow in a sec. He can pick and choose what he's going to do.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, 3 successes. So you successfully managed to disengage all the clamps and the various plugs and whatnot that are tying the power source into its container, so on the next turn you'll be able to heave the thing out, but it's definitely going to be a 2-person job. This thing is quite big and heavy. Who's next? Daemon Sorbo. Dorbo, pardon me. Not like Kevin Sorbo. Character may spend 2 again it has a determination rather than normal 3. He's got determination, so he is going to stir his boys into an attacking frenzy. Capture them all! He's going to use his willpower. He's also going to use the determination of the only motivation should be profit.
Of course.
Let's see how well he motivates his men here. Quite well. So the Ferengi are now in a position to start fighting. So, who is next out of you guys? We got Flask, we got Garrow, we got Gurkow left to go. I mean, Garrow said he was going to stay away, so maybe Garrow hold off for now.
Yeah, unless anyone else starts trouble, then I'll jump in. But
I suspect one of us might want to make a very discreet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to beam up to the captain.
You didn't bring pattern enhancers, did you?
Bugger.
However...
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
oh.
Yeah, we
Gurkha
did.
has
did.
one.
We did. Aha!
Hopkins has one too.
Ooh, so there's pattern enhancers on both sides of the divide. Alright then, let's have Flask see if he can cut through the interference to get a transmission to beam up the crew. So, let me see. He also has transporters and replicators. So he could give a recommendation as to what to do to penetrate the interference and the depth. So, let's think. This sounds like a reason and engineering check from Flesky Boy. Mr. Bell, you can roll for Flesk. We'll give you the hat of blame for this one. He is rolling reason and engineering. He'll be using his focus of deflectors, transporters and replicators. Feel free to use one of his values if you really want to, and or momentum from the pool.
I'm going to use one of his values, I think.
Let's say there is a tool for every problem, or desperation breeds inspiration.
Tool for every problem, I think.
That sounds like a good one. Yep, I can agree with that. Okay.
So
he gets to...
both focus and the
Yes,
value,
please.
Okay, 2 dice.
2 dice, unless you want to buy more with momentum.
How much momentum have we got?
You can buy 1 more dice. No, 2 more dice with momentum, actually, if you want to go for the full 5.
I'm going to buy 1.
Okay, that's 1 momentum from the pool.
Okay, somebody...
I'll do that.
Please.
I got it.
I'll just roll.
Oh, it was almost a 2, but that was 2 successes. All right. So he gets his message through, and the combs says stand by. So this gives Gurkow and Garrow time to act as well if they wish to. First things first is the Orions are going to go, and the Orions are all very keyed up and keen for a fight, so they're going to pair off against the Ferengi where they can, which means one of you goes next. So we've just done Flesk as well. So does Gurkow want to do one last thing before everybody beams up? Because you do have a pattern enhancer, as it turns out.
We're gonna Tavish is gonna need help getting the thingy out.
So, being small of stature, Gurkow could very easily move to the other end. She can dodge between guys.
I'm jumping on the head. Don't mind me, don't mind me.
So for that, I'm just going to need a control and security check to see if she can dart between the various combatants without getting hit. So let's activate Neshlel. Not bad at all. 1 success. Yeah, that'll do. Because they're very much set against each other at this point. Which leaves Garrow. Any last thing? Actually, no, it's the Ferengi who go next. Let's see. Ferengi versus you, Ferengi versus you. Daemon Stobo has had his turn. These 2 Ferengi are going to help and gang up. These 2 Ferengi, not entirely certain they want to be in the middle of that melee. And looking at maybe trying to have a go for the... they're looking like they're going to try and go for the power source themselves. So they are going to try and do a daring and security thing to see if they can wrestle the power core away from Tavish and Gurkow. So this is going to be a daring and security check, and Tavish and Gurkow get to make a daring and security task of their own. One of you wants to be the lead and one of you wants to be the aid. I think probably best if Tavish aids, because we know how tough Gurkow is.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
One success and 2 successes. So between the 2 of you, you managed to very much keep the Ferengi at bay. Nice. So they don't gain possession of it.
I haven't got a hyper spanner for nothing.
Yeah. Bang! Get off this battery!
Wait. 2 of us shouldn't beam up. We should beam the battery up, but 2 of us need to get the shuttles back to the ship.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'll take one of the shuttles.
I'll take the Gucha, or Gricha.
Alrighty, so Garrow and Hopkins is going to stay behind, yes?
I was going to say, with Hopkins at the back, let Garrow and Flesk go Garrow, Flesk, and Dr. Sot go with the shuttles, while Garrow, Tavish, and Hopkins beam up.
Well, you still need help getting this thing out.
Yeah, but we're getting it teleported.
Being beamed back up to the ship, so yes.
Yeah.
So, everybody in agreement with that plan?
I think I'll stick around with the group in here, just so I'm just in case things go sour again, and I need my expert mediation skills.
So Garrow is going to make a beeline for the back out for the shuttles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's what Garrow can do. That's no problem whatsoever. Garrow just basically moves off and starts heading back up the way you came to get to the shuttles. So back around round 2. So this is going to be where... Which one of you wants to go first? Let's put Hopkins first, because you're going to need to get some space away from these 2 Ferengi, and you do have 2 disruptor pistols, 1 in each hand, so, you know. How about we let fly?
Alright, what do I need to use to shoot?
Well, you're going to need control and security. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because you're wielding 2, but as a result, the difficulty is 3 rather than the usual 2.
Well, I'm still going to use my determination of never back down.
Alright then, but you get to John Woo this thing with a pair of disruptor pistols, so... 3 successes was what you wanted on the money. So, yeah, Hopkins does basically lay down two-handed fire with the disruptors, which does a fair amount of success. Because you're using 2, I am going to count that for both. So, yeah, there are now explosions going on all around these 2 Ferengi as they are ducking for cover now that they're getting shot at. So they're kind of...
Would I be able to
going-
run all the way over here?
Yep, you can. You haven't used your fast action for anything yet, so you can do that to run the distance. Absolutely, you can. Let's see. Next up was Captain Tulem, who is busy having a fight, but let's see how observant he's being.
Hopefully not too observant.
Not too observant at all. Okay, for the moment all he can see is the fact that he is not yet at Daemon Storbow's throat, so he's starting to maneuver himself around the periphery, trying to get at the Ferengi captain. Meanwhile, which of you wants to go next? Does Gurkha want to finish off the 2 Ferengi just to frighten them off, or is she going to position herself ready for transport with the power core? I mean, Garrow's already gone by this point. Does Sot want to move himself so that he's in a position where he's ready to do whatever he wants to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the call is here. I'm wondering if, like, a tactical hyper spray somewhere in the fight would help, but, like, no one's really got the upper hand yet.
Not at the
I'll
moment,
hold
no.
off on my turn for a second.
Oh,
Alright, so...
Bishop Ferengi has a last hurrah.
Okay then. Daring and security if you want to punch him, or control and security if you want to brandish a phaser.
Then I use my 2 fists.
Use your fists, okie dokie. Daring and security.
Can I use my hand-to-hand combat for?
Absolutely you can. Two successes. Yep, the Ferengi are not good hand-to-hand fighters. In fact, they're pretty awful. So feel free to roll unarmed for damage. Okay, 3 successes. You're fighting both of them, but you're pretty much beating back both of them too, because they're, like I said, they're Ferengi are kind of cowardly. I mean, yes, they're technically quite strong, but so's a Tellarite. So, Neshlow's fending off both of these guys and is giving them bloody noses and bloody lips. It's great.
No bloody ears.
No bloody ears, because, well, she can give them bloody ears too, you know. Grabbing one by the ear and kicking the other one, you know. Listening to him scream.
I mean, do they still have ears after Hopkins is shot?
They're singed a bit after Hopkins' shots. Daemon Sorbo. Daemon Sorbo whips out a communicator and yells into it, "Get me out of here!" Beams out. So let's see. Tavish want to do anything, or is she getting ready to beam out?
I need. Oh, okay. Let Doctor go next.
Let the doc go. Okie dokie. Dr. Sot.
I think it would be time for that attempted tactical hyper spray on our friend over here.
Alrighty.
Not
Control and medicine. Versus his daring and security. Ooh, so that's what you got to get past is 2 successes. You
Legion
got
of
1
Honor.
and a complication.
Legion of Honor.
Okay.
Please.
Unfortunately, he beats away Dr. Sot's attempt at hitting him with a hypo spray. And now you have Captain Turlem's full attention.
Oh dear.
You were gonna do this to me?
Please, I'm a doctor, not a futurist.
Seems so. Which means it's now an Orion's turn, but they are very busy with the Ferengi. Who wants to go next? Flask, Tavish, Garrow?
I'm halfway out of running.
Yep.
So.
But that could be a good excuse for Garrow to fire up the engines.
Yep. I'll do that.
Control and engineering then to get things up and ready to rock at a moment's notice.
Control, engineering.
This will be a difficulty 0 because it's pressing a few
Can I
buttons.
Can I use shipboard tactical systems, or is this just...
Yeah, go on. Warp engines will do just as well.
Okay, so that'd be focus.
Yep.
So complication was...
Complication is normal, you don't have to do anything with that.
Okay. Yep, so roll dice, 2 dice.
Yes, please.
Bam.
Bam indeed. Nothing. So, yeah. Haven't quite got it up to speed. It's going to take a little bit longer to warm up. So it's warming up. So that was Garrow, which leaves us with Tavish and Flask and a Ferengi soldier. The Ferengi are going now. The Ferengi are starting to notice that their daemon has gone. So let's see. The Ferengi are... 2 of them bug out. Which leaves the rest of them, who are fighting back the Orions, rather alarmed. What do Flask and Tavish want to do next?
Power has shifted very heavily in the Orion's favour.
I need to get the device out.
Alright then. Fitness and security, I'm afraid.
Oh, this is bad.
But you could always get Flask to assist by calling out or communicating with you rather on which way to go, because he's got a different view of the fight than you do. So Flask can use his turn to assist.
Okie dokie. That sounds probably a good idea.
So what did I say? It was fitness and
security.
Do we want to move Flask up there? Or leave him right where
Flask can direct Tavish from up there to where he needs to go, but where she needs to go. No successes, I'm afraid.
I will use a determination, my last one, and use calling the crisis.
Yep.
Again.
Okay. But Flask's parent figure can still work here, so... Left a bit,
Okay.
right a bit. Stop!
I keep forgetting that I need to roll to see if I keep my determination.
Oh yeah, good point. If you rolled an effect, you did.
Oh, I haven't got focus. I haven't got a focus in this, have I?
I'm afraid not.
Okay.
See how well you do. Pretty well, actually. Really, really well. So Tavish manages to get the device all the ways away. Garrow is busy warming up the engine. These two Ferengi flee from Gurkau as they basically get duffed up, and Dr. Sot unfortunately needs a little bit of help, but not before the Combs registers that they now have got their transporter lock. And for those who are going to be transported, you all get beamed out. So, basically back to the dig site we go as some of you jump out in order to get a handle on the shuttles. Your plan went more or less without a hitch. So, you managed to escape with the power core. Those of you, so Gurkau and Tavish had their hands on the power core and were transported directly up to cargo bay. Sot was also transported along with them because he was in jeopardy, so Flesk asked for an emergency beam out to happen there, just as he was about to get a very angry Orion in the face. Garrow and Hopkins raced towards the shuttle pad and activated their shuttles in order to go back up to their respective the Combs in orbit. As they were going into orbit with their shuttles, that was when they get a notice that the Ferengi had launched their own shuttle and had beamed the rest out. But the Orion ship is soon chasing the Ferengi Marauder, and it becomes a running battle in space as basically the Ferengi hightail it for the horizon, with the Orions chasing them the whole way, leaving you guys in orbit with the new power core. So,
unfortunately, we've lost somebody.
We have?
Yeah. The hostage.
Ah, yes, but you do have that set of coordinates.
Yes.
That you had obtained. Therefore, letting Starfleet know about this means that they will be able to dispatch a ship to see if they can rescue them, unless you guys want to do that yourselves.
Oh, they beamed up my two Orions that had no communicators on them.
You've still got those two in the hold.
Okay.
The Orion captain, it seems, was too busy chasing the Ferengi to remember that you've got two Orion prisoners. So,
I guess we can make that exchange after all.
Yes, indeed. So it's entirely possible that the whole situation with Dr. McCall can and will be resolved, but maybe not necessarily by yourselves, but by putting the call into Starfleet quickly, you can do so. You managed to outrun the ion storm within a space of like minutes more, and you would have been it would have been a lot more difficult to get the shuttles and indeed being transported off the surface because of the ion storm or plasma storm I should say, that rolls in. But you do manage to get a communique down to the dig crew to let them know that the power source has been secured. So essentially the Combs can wait around in orbit and wait for the storm to pass in order to let the archeological dig crew either have the power core, or if you think you should keep it yourselves and escort it back to somewhere safe in case either the Ferengi or the Orions try again. What's your thought on that?
The latter.
Take it home.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we might need to escort
It's
it.
coming home.
So overall, yes, the power core you've got is rather interesting battery that if you hand it over to someone like the Daystrom Institute, it will likely take them years to analyze this thing, but overall, the scientific possibilities for creating a new and potent power source are quite tempting. You know, there's at the moment, there's nothing wrong with the current method of using warp engines, but if there is a means of creating easier and more abundant energy, then maybe this power cell might very well be a key to a future. However, whether or not it has anything to do with the civilization you've been coming across recently is, at this point, doubtful, but still possible, since you have come across other civilizations, albeit dead ones, that have used this other ancient race's technology as a basis for their own. So, analysis will reveal that. If you guys are taking it home to Narendra Station, then it's entirely possible that the head of civilian science, Dr. Taliaferro, will insist that she and her group get it rather than those hacks at the Daystrom Institute. So it's entirely possible this power source will remain with the guys at Narendra Station. So we'll see if it yields any results further down the line. But for now, your mission has been a success. You've managed to safeguard the power core and the archaeological dig crew from keeping it from the hands of both the Orions and the Ferengi, as it turns out. So yes, well done. Well done indeed. Unless there's any add-ons you guys want to put as a bookend to this?
I'm a little bit disappointed.
About
I didn't get to. I didn't get to use my my grav sled.
I mean, you could have put the artifact on it.
I completely forgot I had the grav sled. I
Yes.
should have said I'm putting it on
Never
the grav
mind.
sled.
I forgot as well, so you know we're all guilty of it. It's cool. It's all good.
Hopkins is gonna put the daggers and the second disruptor pistol she got from the Orions in her cabin.
Trophies. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly for Dr. Sarah McCall, she will have to face charges, but they'll probably be they'll probably be light, because she did technically put other people in danger, but obviously there was a reason she did it, so it'll be mitigated a bit.
And Tavish
Put in a good word?
Put in a good word, yes.
Yep. So that will help. That will definitely help. You know.
I may have to. I'm sorry. I may have to put in a report about punching that Ferengi.
Demon Sorbo, you want to?
Yeah.
No, yeah, all right, yeah. Keep an eye out for that guy in the future. Yeah, okay then.
Hopkins is gonna report that she punched the Ferengi first.
Right. Yes.
The
Okay.
captain.
Good point.
I would also like to put a something to the commander and the captain of transferring a engineer from the archaeological dig.
You want Ensign Kenson to come on board the.
I want my Ensign Kenson to be my protege.
Oh, you hate me so
happens?
much.
What happens when she gets promoted?
Yeah, there we are. She gets a promotion as well.
No.
She will never be promoted.
If we get the ensign, the engineer, can we also bring the science officer?
Archer?
Malcolm, the scientist.
Malcolm. Oh, you mean Ensign Aversion?
Yes, we want a version.
You want Aversion and you want Ensign Kenson. Ah, you guys hate me. You guys want to make my life a misery. No, it's funny. I get it. Do it because it's funny. Rule 1.
Is this going to be used on the Navis storyline as well, or?
In what way? Oh, you mean have the Navis
I mean,
guys done this as well?
Yeah.
They did something similar to me, yes, but not specifically these guys.
Okay, not these names. Okay.
Not these names. They did something else to me, and if they're watching, you know what you did.
I'm gonna ask them what they did.
No, I'm not going to give you any clues. But all right, you will put in transfer requests for Ensign Malcolm Eversion, who could be. I mean, you never know. He's on the science track. He could be quite useful for the science department. Someone for Ensign Gurkow. Ensign? I've demoted her already. Lieutenant Gurkow to. For Lieutenant Gurkow to order around, because technically he'd be part of her department, and Ensign Carly Kenson. Jeez. So that Tavish has got an engineer character, which puts us not bad actually, because we've got Ensign Ravalon on communications, we've got Councillor Sachs, we've now got Ensign Eversion for science, we've got Ensign Kenson for engineering, and we've got Ensign Acos for security. So that's we're doing pretty well so far. We've already got the EMH for a supporting character for Dr. Sott, so
Now
we're
I
doing
need a
well.
supporting character for me.
Now we just need someone for you, yes. Bring in someone from the fam. Another Klingon. Commander, my bed is too comfy. I need more spikes. Something like that.
I do have a question. Can we with our thingies, with our acclaim, can we use that to get favour with anybody from the Navis?
There's a crossover episode.
Ooh. That is a singularly devious thing to do, you bugger. As long as it's an NPC, but at this point in time, the trouble is, technically the Navis is in a parallel universe, because otherwise, Navis would at this point be sharing Narendra Station with you. Because technically the Navis are based out of Narendra Station just like you are, but in your version of it, the Akira class ship is the Thunderchild, not the Navis, so technically no, you can't gain favour with anybody from the Navis.
Fair enough.
But I'm interested in the devious way your brain works. In any case,
I'll stop now.
for now, that brings us to the end of this episode at the very least. So yes, it's another successful mission, and you've managed to keep the artifact away from the Ferengi and the Orions. But you've also stoked some pretty fierce rivalry now between the Orions and the Ferengi. So who knows? Who knows what will come about as a result of that? But you've also put Daemon Storbo on a watch list, which I find interesting. So we'll see what goes on. Thank you for watching Suitable Substrate. I hope you've had as much fun watching this as we have had in partaking of it, because that was just, well, we punched Ferengi for starters, and it went downhill from there. So we'll see what happens afterwards. But for now, yep, we're going to, let's see. Mark, I think, is available only every other week, so for the sake of making him able to at least start another episode, we will go straight through and do another episode next Sunday if everybody's available.
I think I should be, yes.
I believe so.
I believe so too.
I think most of December, I think some of the weeks in December I might be away. I got a Comic-Con on the 3rd, and I think I'm on holiday on the 10th, but after that I think it should be...
So those 2 Sundays running. Okay. Are you alright with... If you're the only absentee, are you alright with folks going on without you?
As long as you don't get me killed,
The usual proviso, yeah. Don't get me killed. That's no problem. Okay, cool. So we will continue next week, so that hopefully we can have our chief of operations back, and we may then do the fortnight skip, so that we can keep Mark in the episode. We will see about the 3rd and the 10th, depending on who is available when. But for now, that is the end of this particular session. So thank you to my players, as per usual, for making this ridiculously entertaining. And for punching Ferengi, and for starting a fight between Ferengi and Orions. So we'll see whatever comes out of that. But in the meantime, I will ask you all to live long and prosper, and to do what the Vulcans do, which is engage in infinite diversity, in infinite combinations, and maybe tell your first officer off for engaging in hostilities from the word go. What? For now, I will say thank you to everyone who watched. If you're watching this on YouTube and you found this entertaining, then consider giving us a like, and also maybe hitting the bell icon to be notified when we post other videos, because sometimes we take a break for a week, and you might like to be notified when we do post our videos. So, yes, thank you for being with us. Take care of yourselves in these ridiculously crazy times, and we hope to see you again next week. Hailing frequencies are now closed.